if it's like a certain conversation about something and somebody disagrees, and then somebody steps in and then kind of corrects them, they might take it personal. They might, they might be a little bit kind of, I don't really necessarily agree, but, this is how I think about it, then they share their opinions. And sometimes, that can go overboard. And most people really can't really control their emotions as well enough. But, for me, I kind of just like try to stand my ground and avoid the people, that reflects differently on certain things.
And even in the context of what you just explained, right? Uh, everyone, that's why emotions are so beautiful because I can say one thing and there's two people on the panel and y'all both can feel differently about what I said, right? Y'all can both have different emotional attachments to whatever I say. So it can influence you differently. You may agree, writers may disagree. And because of the way you feel, you will start a thought. The thought will start brewing. And eventually an action or reaction or response, whatever you want to call it, will occur. I might say something and you might disagree to the point where your next action, you may not say nothing verbally. You may feel some type of way and you may not say something, but you may not even come around me no more because of what I said. That happens a ton of times on here with me. But, you
Yeah,
know,
and
action will occur. The feeling will always influence the action. The feeling that you have will always influence thought. And that thought you have, eventually you will either react or act on. One or two things will happen. You either have a response or a reaction to the way you feel from the thought from the thought that the feeling created in the first place. That's the whole point of me teaching how to properly manipulate.
definitely, yeah, that's another good example. I mean, like video games and stuff. Majority of people that do take things a little serious, but I'm sure at the end of the day, they probably don't really mean it in a necessarily like, I hate this person sort of deal. But if it's like in person, that body language is a really strong thing. People can read that easily, and some people could get a little shook, and some people probably would react, and there's a lot of consequences for stuff like that. If you react differently enough to a certain extent, if somebody wants to, you know, have an argument or just, have a fight about it, it can go two different ways, but there's always consequences for certain reactions and stuff like that.
Have a review this, sis? Go ahead and take over for a second. I'm outside on my keynote.
But if I could find the article I read, I think it's on my history, but it basically mentions a lot about verbal reactions, how people can relate on something. For example, like it could be a political opinion. I know I don't want to really talk about politics too much, but it could be a political opinion, and it could be, um, something like people could be like joking around, for example, and somebody, doesn't really take too kindly to that. There's other ways that people could react to that. Um, but I've been in several instances where, um, for example, me and a friend of mine, we were playing video games, and he said some sort of a joke or something, and I kind of had to question it for a second, but then he reiterated the same thing again, and I was like, "Are you being serious right now? Like, are you joking?" Like, so I just had to question it, and so he took it personal. So I kind of had to step back a little bit, move him into a private conversation and be like, "Hey, I didn't like the way you joked about it. It'd be nice if we just kind of don't joke about it again." sort of deal, and he was actually really acceptive of it, and I was really surprised that he had that reaction because I was honestly expecting the worst, to be honest. I was really hesitant that he was going to block me and be like, thought that it was me, that it was my fault, sort of deal.
And and two, this is why I said I want to teach it, because not only will you know how to manipulate, you'll know when you've been manipulated, even when you manipulate yourself. Like what you just said, um, it didn't stop you from telling them how you felt, but you had in the back of your mind, and most people it do stop them from speaking how they feel about things, is assuming what the other person is going to say, and they manipulate themselves into not expressing their own feelings and bottling up because they assume. You never really know until you try something. So even manipulating yourself, you got to know when you talking yourself into things and out of things, because it happens subconsciously a lot of times. So being
True.
aware of it is the only way you can cure it. That's the only way you can fix it, is being aware and just being understanding. Like even when you had that thought, well, I don't want to say it because of the way he may react, but I need to say it because of the way I feel. And if I don't tell him how I feel, guess what? He might make that joke again. I might, because I bottled it up the first time. Now I'm adding more on top of it. So it's best to always express how you feel. And if you can't express how you feel to people, that's a clear indication you don't need to be around them people.
Definitely. Yeah. There's certain times where I had to cut out majority of people, just for little things like that. It got to a certain extent where I was like the main target, for pinpointing and, you know, making jokes and stuff. And, sometimes I'll accept it, because I know they're joking. But then when it gets way too far out of hand, then it's like, okay, we got to calm down a little bit. Just I know we're friends, sort of deal. But I even had to tell them, like we have to kind of simmer down a little bit, and let's just finish the game and stuff like that. But the way I reacted to it was, I overreacted, to be honest, and
Even
much,
telling
and
yourself, even telling
my
yourself
emotions
that.
got the best of it.
But even telling yourself that, I wouldn't say you overreacted, because that's how you felt. How did you overreact? It was a stimulant that caused you to feel the way you feel. Even that is a form of manipulation, bro. He said something and it changed the way you felt.
True.
So the only way to change it back is, guess what? I have to express the way I feel. And I think you did, because y'all still friends, and he got your point. You got your point across. What happens a lot of times is, no matter how long you know someone, even when you know someone, right? You might know someone boundaries, right? And because you know that boundary, oftentimes with friends, family, we skate on that gray line. We know how far we can go. So it may not happen intentionally, it could happen subconsciously, but we do push boundaries. That's just innate. For some reason, humans like to take thresholds higher, and that translates into other aspects of life. So if you have a friend and that is a personality trait of theirs, you have to be careful and be mindful to make sure your boundaries are firm, because it might not happen intentionally that they're trying to push your boundaries, but it can happen subconsciously, especially if that's part of their personality. Say if they high achievers push boundaries, bro. So being around someone like that, yeah, they may understand your boundary, but they may push it because it's just a trait of theirs. They're not doing it to hurt you, but that's just part of them. So
True.
you have to firmly put down boundaries, especially, and it's good to be aware and understand who you're dealing with, so you understand how to deal with them.
Definitely. Yeah. And I hate to be the person to, pick a fight and, I mean, like if, in real life situations or something, I'd hate to be the person to throw hands or something like that. It's just not the way to solve problems. Um, the best way I learned about, trying to at least come to an agreement or, at least have some closures, speak to them about it. explain politely how you felt at the time, and then see how they react. Most times, they get boiled up, and sometimes they do want a fist fight. And I just, I'm not that kind of person. I don't want to do that because it just doesn't solve problems. It's just a more larger, conflict that happens. And I've been in that, similar situation a lot of times. And then sometimes I look back on it and I think, am I reacting, and, sometimes I think, maybe I said something out of context or something. Maybe he got mad about it, sort of deal. But it's always best to, pull them in privately, have a one-on-one conversation, have your side of the story, listen to them, then come to a closure or an agreement sort of deal, and, everyone has every right to, befriend somebody if you feel that this person's toxic or, that's just not going well. And, recently I had to cut off a lot of people because, I felt that manipulation. For example, I had a friend of mine in high school. I saved up $6,000 last year, and I bought my own little safe. I got a bank account. I put all the savings in a bank account. I had a couple grand in the safe. I invited him over one night, and of course, I was flashing the money around, and saying ha ha ha, this and that. I was bragging about it. Probably shouldn't have never done that. But so he kind of got the gist of it a little bit. He's like thinking to himself, well, he's got money, so I can easily, kind of talk his way out of, kind of helping me out a little bit. He's got some money in the bank. So one day I went and picked him up, and we hung out for a little bit, and it came down to it. He wanted to sell me something, so looked at it, kind of thought to myself, well, this is not something was asking to buy, sort of deal. So he was trying to convince me and manipulate me into thinking, well, yeah, this is what you wanted, right? I'm like, no, this is not what I wanted. No, I'm not buying this. I want my money back. And so he hands me my money back, and then his next thinking is, well, can you at least borrow me 60 some? I'm like, no. Dropped him off instantly, drove back home, deleted him. I thought to myself, I'm like, wow, manipulation to the finest, and that really bummed me out for him to think that, to take advantage of me and, in all different ways. And, he was playing the victim card and all that stuff. And I just said, screw it. I'm going to cut him off. I'm not going to talk to him ever again. And that was just, never felt that kind of manipulation in my life, to be honest with you.
I want to touch on that. In a minute, but I want to answer Ryder's question too. She said, how does manipulation impact trust and communication in relationships, whether personal, professional, or societal? So first, we have to understand the context of manipulation, right? Because normally when we hear manipulation, we think of the negative aspect of it. Someone taking advantage, as he just stated in the story. Someone taking advantage of you. It's always something, but in fact, manipulation happens regardless. It has a positive and a negative aspect, because influence is a form of manipulation. Manipulation is just simply changing something. Me having this conversation with y'all, any conversation I have with y'all, my intent is to manipulate y'all. It's to change the way you think, not in a way it benefit me, but in a way it benefit you. So when we think of manipulation, we have to first discover the intent. What is the intent of the manipulation? Is it to make me better, or is it to take something from me to give to them? So in the aspect of negative, it destroys relationships. It can confuse in communication. It can break a person.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
100%.
professionally, I mean, you can lose your job or career or even your will to, you know, achieve. In society, I mean, now we have to talk about the effects, you know, conditioning or desensitizing people is also a form of manipulation. And what happens when that occurs on a societal level? People become numb of things that we should be aware of, that we should seek change for. We just accept it, you know, like violence. Violence, we have been so desensitized to violence when it occurs, there's no outrage. Grady, what up, though? I seen a couple other people step in the building. Matty G, what up, though? Bud Files, what up, though, fam? I hope my boy King Blackout. What up, though? So, yeah, manipulate. It depends on the intent. Now let's look at the positive aspect. Manipulation in a positive aspect, you can look at it as motivation or inspiration. When you motivate people, you manipulate them. When you inspire people, you manipulate them. So manipulation has a positive and a negative aspect to it. People just focus on the negative because they ain't equipped to do it in a positive way. They don't know how, most people. Because when they think of manipulation, they think of taking something from someone instead of giving. So if you do that in a positive aspect, you can make people feel comfortable with communicating. I normally manipulate the environment where people feel comfortable coming over here having conversations they wouldn't probably normally have. By creating an environment where they feel safe or comfortable to do so, that's a form of manipulation. They don't normally go out and have these conversations, but come over here and do it. Why is that? Is that not a change that occurred? So manipulation can be used in a positive aspect. It's all about the intent, though. So when y'all think of manipulation, the first thing is to understand the intent. Is this to better me or is it to break me? And in your story, you know, he was trying to take something from you. But I want to point something out too, because like you said, you was flashing the money around and you took accountability and you said you probably shouldn't have did that. But that influenced or manipulated him to even seek the money coming from you. So everything has a cause and effect.
Yeah, that's another good thing to look at it. I thought I would, you know, because he's a longtime friend, I thought I would trust him enough to know. And he pretty much just thought I was like
A
the
piggyback.
easy, well, kind of like the easy target, you know, sort of deal.
He was a lick.
Say it again.
He looked at you as a lick. We call it a lick. Where I'm from, them easy targets, you know, soft targets, we call them licks. I mean, we can, you know, get something out of them quick and easy.
Yeah, it really bummed me out that he looked at me like that in that kind of way, and just kind of it was well, it kind of happened so fast. I mean, we've been friends for so many years. You know, we've had our ups and downs and sort of deal. And
let me ask you this: did it? I know it hurted you, but were you really surprised? Like, when you look back at who he is or how he presented himself, was it a surprise that he did that, or was it something that you felt he was capable of?
well, yeah, in a way, I was a little bit surprised because I noticed like his demeanor changed the way as soon as I picked him up, and then you know he handed me what I was wanting to buy, and I looked at it. I was like, this is not what you showed me, sort of deal. And the way he was convincing me made it seem like he thought that I was the dumb one, and he thought I wasn't going to fall for it.
Have you ever seen him do that to anybody else?
He a couple times, yeah. I'll admit he's done that to a couple people.
No surprise there. It's just a matter of time. If that's something he does, it's just a matter of time until it's your turn. That's why I asked you, was you surprised? You know, because like even family, man, once I see somebody do something, I know they're capable of it. And the more they do it, it's only a matter of time until it's my turn. That's just reality, bro.
True.
You know, so nothing really surprised me in people no more, especially once I see them do it once. You know, if I see them do it once, I try to understand the circumstances and situations, because sometimes we do things because of stimulants. You know, you may lose control because of a scenario, but normally you may have the same circumstance, but the scenario might be different. Maybe you had a good day and somebody cut you off and you ain't cuss them off. Right? That's not your normal behavior. It's cussing people out. But if you're having a bad day, that's just more fuel to the fire. And because somebody cut you off, you went off.
Yeah, I didn't want to be the one to, to snap and then have things escalate and, have a long-term effect of it. But at the end of all that, I was just like, I'm not, I can't have you around anymore. And he accepted it, honestly. But just shortly right after that, I think a week after that, he came over to my house thinking that he was going to move in. And I thought to myself, I was like, you're not staying here. Like, who said you're going to live with me? I'm like, yeah, you're not staying here. No, I'll give you some money, get a bus ride back home. You're not staying here. And he just stood there and just gave me this weird stare look at me. Like he thought that I was going to like he was going to try to convince me to change my mind or something like that. And he does that all the time. I've noticed that with our whole friendship, that he's, his body language and the way that he stares, and then like tries to convince me, like, yeah, I'll pay rent, or, like, I'll give you this and that. I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, politely, no, I'm sorry, you can't stay here. But the look in his eye when he looked right at me totally knew for a fact that either he was going to convince me to change my mind, or he was going to use a certain form of manipulation in order for me to be like, I'm, might as well, there's nothing else I can do, sort of deal. So that was his thinking, at that certain time. So I just basically cut him off. Long term, well, I would say long term, but a couple days later after that, I found out that he was going to try to hide at my house because the cops were looking for him.
Dang.
So I found out about that, but I didn't want to say anything to him. I just wanted to let the law deal with it. So I found him on the roster. Yeah, I found him on the roster, and I was like, yeah, I knew it. I know he was going to use me as a hideout. He was going to use me for, for anything he wanted. Money, food, somewhere to stay. I was like, no, I'm not having it. I told him, I was like, you screwed me over, and I didn't like that, and he just dead silence. He had nothing to say. So
bro, he tried to put you in a blender, bro.
Right. Yeah, and I was not having it, and I did express to him, I was like, yeah, you really did me wrong. And that's not what friends do. I was a little bummed out. As soon as he left, I was a little bummed out, that a long time friend, that we'd hang out every day. It was smoking, chilling, playing video games, the normal teenage life, sort of deal. And then all of a sudden now we're adults, and it's like this is how he was treating me the whole time. And I was like, enough's enough. Like, enough is enough. And as soon as I found out about that and I saw him on the roster, I was like, well, that's where he needs to be. That's his punishment. That's the consequence. You end up in jail, and I'm sure he's probably done worse than that. But I don't want to hold it against him. But if you choose to do that, then it's like that's the consequence you get, sort of deal. But yeah, I mean, the manipulation part of it, it was just kind of a rocky sort of deal. Either he came over to ask me for money, or he came over to ask me for a place to stay. It could be like from A to B. I wouldn't even know until he even did. He would have mentioned it. If he would have asked, months later or months before, I probably would have had a mind change. But then he fell through, and then he had a drug problem. So I said, no, I'm not dealing with that. Definitely not dealing with that. Because that has manipulation written all over it.
Yeah, people will use you to benefit themselves. That's the general understanding of manipulation. But we're gonna make manipulation great again. Teach y'all how to do it, and then you'll be aware when people doing it to you. So you'll be able to cut it off. You'll be able to cut the snake head off, so you don't have to worry about it growing back. But let me get Rach in. Rach, you quiet. What you thinking about?
What up, though? I was listening to the story. It seems like, manipulation is used as the same form as in, like, how when I'm gonna put it like this, right? Because I don't know how to use the word. Basically, there was a point in time where I used to tell my baby pops, right, I don't want to do certain things because I don't want to use people, right? And he had to sit me down, right? And he's like, look, listen, you can't help, right, to feel but like you're using somebody. He's like, every day people use each other, no matter what the situation is, right? So it took me a minute to understand what he was trying to say by that, right? And I'm saying, I was like, how, when you use somebody is not a good thing? He's like, no. He's like, you use me every day, right? He's like, I'm like, what you mean? He's like, I'm here for you, right? You talk to me, you use me to talk, right? You use me to, take me places and stuff like that. I was like, okay. I was like, is that a bad thing? He's like, no, that's not a bad thing. So he had to break that John down. So manipulation could be used in that same form, right? So is it, let me put it like this. Can it be like a mutual thing? Is it both ways? Can two people manipulate each other at the same time? Is it, a one party thing, right? Is it somebody always at a disadvantage?
It's all about, like, going back to what I said. It's about the intent. Because think about this: don't you manipulate your daughter when you tell her you love her? If your daughter having a bad day or she did something wrong, and you do anything to make her smile, that's a form of manipulation. You see what I'm saying? That's just the point. So it's the intent. It's gonna happen regardless. Negative or positive, it has both. So as your husband, your fiance said, if you look out in nature, everything uses one another. There's nothing wrong with using someone. It comes when you abuse, meaning you're taking and not receiving. You just taking from the person, but they're not receiving nothing back from you. So you just take it. So what happens is you drain. That's why I think about when people, like with the story you just heard from Texas. Imagine if that boy manipulated him into allowing him to stay with him, and then the cops kick in the Texas door, and the guy got something illegal in the Texas house. The Texas is going to be punished. If they benefit the guy, because he got a place to hide out. But when shit hit the fan, they both get in trouble because of something somebody else did. So it's all about, am I doing is the manipulation occurring to better me or to harm me?
Looney Tunes, lessons.
Looney, what up, though?
So it could be a two-way streak at times.
Yeah. If think about this, right? If I'm manipulating the way you think, you start thinking better. You come around me thinking better. You're going to be a better person around me. So that's go. You being better is going to add to me. So if I can manipulate you to be a better person or a better version of yourself, I'm a benefit by you being around. That's the whole a better you, a better self-development. If I can develop myself and help develop the people around me, the environment behind me becomes better. Just it can work the negative way too. If I want to be negative and manipulate, think about like I look how my old hood turned. Right? It turned the way it did because of violence and drugs. Someone came into that neighborhood. There wasn't no violence or drugs in it. They manipulated the environment by putting drugs in. The drugs made people more violent, and now that's the new environment. That's a form of manipulation. It wasn't like that before. They changed it. So it's always a stimulant occur. So if I'm over here motivating, inspiring you, educating you, that's a stimulant. It's something that you didn't have before you came over. But now you got it. So now that made you better. So you go home, you go be a better version of yourself for the people in your home.
True.
And then that's what make them better. And then whoever they go around, that's a good cancer.
That's true. It's crazy how you breaking this down today, because when people talk about manipulation, it's always may seem as a bad thing, like you said in the beginning of the live, though.
Everything has this is what I'm trying to avoid that. Everything has a positive and negative aspect to it. Everything. There's no positivity without negativity. I can't have one without the other. So if this normally when things are bad for like think about war, right? There's a winner and a loser. It's good for the winner, it's bad for the loser. You see what I'm saying? So is it negative or positive? You can't tell the people who benefit from the war it was negative because they benefit. You see what I'm saying? So no, it ain't negative to them. Using and not abusing. Take more than you can consume. Yeah. Yeah, that's what life is about. But you go have to use people. I used to think the same way. Like even now, the way I interact with people, my intent is never to abuse them, but I am gonna use you. I'm gonna use you. I allowed you to use me. I allow people to use me. Now it's up to you if you do so, because I'm gonna do it regardless if you agree or not. You come around me, I'm gonna use you. I'm not gonna abuse you though. I ain't gonna take advantage of you. I'm not gonna use you to benefit myself. But even think about this, even my concepts. I'm using the people in the chat to see how they react or not react to what I say. Then I have a better understanding of how to say it or how to present it. So I'm using them. Everything is used.
Real shit. I didn't think like that though at one point. I'm like, yo, wait, how am I using somebody? I'm I'm telling you, like I really had that mentality for a second. I never thought about it the other way. So it was always, I'm gonna do it myself. I don't want nobody to think I'm using them. I don't want, to misuse anybody. And I really did a lot of shit on my own without asking for help. And even when I hit rock bottom at one point, I said I wasn't. Nope. Well, that's what I'm telling you. My baby probably walked in and he really broke that joint down.
I'm gonna give you another nuance to it, right? If you don't use people, they have no value. They just have no value. You can actually increase a person's value by using them. Like maybe I do something over here, right? That you don't do on your show, but I can bring you over here and you can do it over here. Now I didn't added value because the people over here see like, oh shit, I didn't know she can do that. Let me go over there and check her out.
I ain't even think about
we
that.
posted we supposed to be using each other. That's why when people have an opportunity for me to hit the link and I can add to whatever they're doing, I do it. I let them. We were using one another. So you asking to be beneficial, yeah? Because now you're doing a topic on your show that I have information about. So now your crowd can hear me and get the information. You got the content, but I'm also getting the exposure. That's how we can use one another.
Another quick thing here before I go. Another example of manipulation that I've been experiencing here now for a couple months. So I'm from Minneapolis, and I'm in a trailer complex. they're now breaking my lease agreement, and they're demanding money for utilities that are a part of my lease agreement. And not only am I affected by it, but there's other people affected by it. The landlords, I think they're out of a different state. And if I'm not mistaken, they did this in 2 other different states and they got their license revoked. And now they're trying to do it where I'm at. And they're using, I think, well, I don't want to call it like a bully tactic or a scare tactic, but the way that they're doing it is they're forcing people they're almost forcing people out of their houses because they want this certain amount of money. From April of last year till February of this year, they have added up all these sewer charges without telling nobody about it. And they're supposed to give a 60-day notice for these changes to happen, and they did not do it the proper way. And so this whole management is getting sued for this. And I believe the way that they're doing it, they're manipulating all the residents into complying with the new community rules, the new rent increases, sewer charges, all this other stuff that's already supposed to be included. And so now they're being sued for this. And then now I have a lawyer that's we're working one-on-one into kicking him out of the office and hopefully bring in some new people that actually will abide by lease agreement. So, for example, January's rent, I went up to the office with a personal check, handed it to him with no notice, no message of anything being changed until when my February's rent went through the mailbox. Called him, asked him why it didn't clear. Well, you got an outstanding balance. We don't accept partial amounts. And I'm thinking to myself, that's not right. That's not right. So I've been asking around, and not only me, but 40% of the people in this complex have the same exact ordeal. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, these landlords must be at least using some sort of a manipulation to use on vulnerable people that have no idea about the law, and the agreements and all this stuff. And now they're forcing people to sign new leases, which is against state statute, and all this other stuff. So that's another example of manipulation right there too. That's like if I went to Walmart, went up to the money order section and say, hey, you owe me $500. Like, that doesn't work like that. You don't just demand money, because it's, I don't know. They have some sort of scheme going on up there that they're not being honest about with the residents. And I feel like that's another sort of a manipulation that they're using against the residents to get money out of people.
Well, there's different tactics you can use to manipulate, but I would look at, as long as you don't sign an amendment to the lease, you should be fine. They can't change nothing without you agreeing. Only thing they can do is wait for your lease up and implement the changes. Unless it's a state requirement, then they can enforce it. But that's the only way. And from what I'm listening to, as long as y'all don't, and if you sign a new lease agreement, you better make sure it's not an amendment in it. That's how they get people normally. Is when you sign that new lease agreement, you just think you re-signing the lease, but it's an amendment attack. You agreeing to something that you didn't agree to in the first place, but that's what an amendment is. It's to add. So you have to be careful when you signing new agreements, or they may tell you anything. They may say, hey, we need you to sign this. There's some stuff changing around here. And you sign it not reading it, that's your fault.
Yeah, they actually did just send a new community rule lease, and
And if you sign that shit, that's your fault.
yeah, no, my attorney told me not even to worry about it, not even sign it, because the ongoing lease right now says water, sewer, and garbage are all included, and so they're using these utility charges against people, and trying to get vulnerable people forced out of their houses. They're even seizing other people's properties without no court orders or no, like signed paperwork stating that they can do that. So it's just like a whole mess going on.
Only way they can do that is if they evict you. Once they evict you, and by law they have to put your stuff out. But if you don't claim it, I think in 48 hours or 24 hours, I think it's up to whoever, and that's how they usually do it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I used to be a real estate agent. I dealt with a lot of leases, bro. I dealt with a lot of leases. And every time something went wrong, people called me first. And I was just that guy who went above and beyond, doing shit I wasn't getting paid to do. So just learning rental law and, I had to learn rental laws and buyer's laws and seller's laws in real estate school, but took it to a different level, helping out people.
Yeah. But that's kind of like the way I felt. Like they're manipulating me into thinking that I have to sign this, I have to pay this amount. I got I had a summons to appear over Zoom, and then it got pushed to trial. So now it's like, now they're forcing community rules, and then I'm thinking to myself, like, that's definitely a sorts of manipulation, because I mean, not only are they forcing money out of people, but I mean, they're just they're violating all these state statutes and not abiding by the lease agreements. And then not only in this trailer complex, but everywhere else in the area too, they're doing the same thing. So it's like court case after court case, and I just feel like these landlords are just like, either they just don't care, or they want the money, and then they're just gonna scoot right out of the state, sort of deal.
And this is like a property management company?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a private owned company or if it's nationwide, but it's a local company, and they don't even actually have a corporate at all. So it's just two people working out of the office on laptops, and they just ignored all the demands. The attorney even told them to reinstate the rent back to normal, and they said, nope, we're not doing that. We're going to sign an eviction notice, and we're going to tape it to your door, and we want our money now. And that's like, yeah, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. So eventually all the lawyers got caught onto it, and so they're being sued. So we're trying to kick him out of the office.
Commander, what up, Nine? Administrator General of Defenses in a building. Stop playing with me. What up, Nine? That's my Nine.
What up, man?
But yeah, that's I mean, that's another way of manipulation. The way I look at it is, like manipulating them into thinking that they have to do this, even though they have the overpower. The landlords have the power to do what they want, sort of deal, but they're not doing it the correct way. And yeah, they're demanding money, and it's a whole mess. So we're gonna hopefully get it solved here the next month or two, and hopefully they get kicked out of the office, and new people will come and take over and fix the whole issue. And yeah, I'm not signing no new lease. I'm not doing that. Definitely not, because that's got a whole mess written all over it too.
Yeah, but definitely, a lot of times people manipulate people to get them to participate. That's what it sounds like. If I can get these people willingly to pay me this money because of the fear of they may lose their homes, then yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm just, I was worried for a little bit that it was only just me, but it's almost about half of the people living in the complex that are dealing with the same issues. And there was a private Facebook group that somebody created to post in the Facebook group about what the management's been doing. And somehow or some way, somebody at trial told the judge about the private Facebook group, and now the management knows what's been posted. So now it's like it's cutting our chances of getting everything fixed. But I mean, of course, I'm sure the landlords know what they're doing, but I mean, it's definitely a small sign of manipulation in a sort of way. You know, it's like they're making you think that you have to do this, but you know for a fact that this is against the law, you know, sort of deal. So it's like, you know, yeah, it just it goes all different ways, I guess. But I'm just looking at
What
it in
up,
like
Nines?
different
sorry, Nathan.
scenarios. Oh, it's okay.
What up, now?
Commander.
But I do have to hop off here. It's midnight.
I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you.
Not a problem.
I missed you, Mintex. So have a good one. Take
Yeah.
it easy.
You guys have a good night. See ya.
Facts. Have a good night.
Facts.
Chat, where you at?
Chat. Where's the chat? Chat.
Josh came up here rhyming. Let me find out. Hey.
Hey. Listen, I don't rap, I don't poem, I don't sing, I don't do none of that. But maybe one day.
Neither
For
do I.
funsies. For funsies, right? I know you said that before.
Shit, I
See,
do.
Rachel, you done manipulated Commander into rapping.
Oh snap! Let me find out.
I
said
said,
maybe
what?
one day.
Let me find out. Let me find out.
We'll do your ad lib. Go ahead. Let me
Do we got
find
enough
out.
hours? Chat. Where your money at? Come on, look into my eyes.
I was busy. I didn't get to I watched a little bit of the first one, the manipulation, where it's saying he's going to teach us all the tactics. He's going to teach us to use it. Now, whether we use it for good or bad, it's up to you.
It's up to you. But my intent of teaching is to do it in a way that you can positively influence people and you can help people get the most out of themselves. But with great power comes great responsibility, but also I have to teach you the bad way so you can identify it when it's happening to you. So I got to show you both aspects so you will know what to do and what not to do and what's being done and what's not being done to you.
Yeah, and a lot of us are already doing it without knowing it.
Facts. Shit, we doing a lot of stuff we don't know we doing. We saying a lot of stuff we don't know we saying. We don't know what we talking about, but we talk it. I'm just talking in general, right? If the shoe fits, where that itch. If it doesn't apply, let it fly.
Yeah, people think they're not manipulating, but if you influence, even if you motivate and if you inspiring people, you manipulate. And if somebody having a bad day, you hug them and they made their day better, you manipulate.
Wait,
You
word.
did
I just caught on.
that. Uh huh.
You doing this live because I called you a manipulator yesterday?
Mm-mm.
I'm just playing with you. I'm sorry.
So
I
I
think
don't
I
know.
called
Maybe
him that before.
No, I
yeah.
was
I
messing
know
with
I'm
him
gonna
yesterday.
manipulate.
We
Oh,
what
I
was
know.
talking.
I do it.
I was talking. Well, what was I talking about yesterday? And it was about manipulation. Oh, the serpent. That's what I was talking about. The
Mm-hmm.
damn serpent. And then I called Word the damn
Hmm.
serpent. I was like, oh shit, Word. That's what you be doing. You slick little trickster.
Told you I learned from the best.
That's why I be calling him Lucifer Morningstar. People don't even peep it. I'm like, this damn. I didn't even peep it until yesterday. I was just reacting to the video, and then I just started calling him this shit because it's like, damn, that shit really made me think. They say that the snake and the devil was a liar, but they're the ones that told the truth in the Bible. So what does that make God? Did he lie?
The devil never lied in the Bible. Bro.
Nope. He just
That was,
manipulated and tricked people into shit.
I don't even think he tricked people. I don't even think he tricked people. He made people think.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
that's
if I make you think, am I tricking you?
nope. That's why I keep saying what you keep hearing me say lately. Like, damn, we make our own choices, but we keep blaming the devil and accusing God for
Mm-hmm.
what's happening to us. I was like, wait. I was like, is we even reading the passages to these Bibles? Because it's like, I don't know. It's like when I don't hop on panels. When I go onto these channels, let me say it right. When I go into these channels, right, I listen to certain people, right, and then they read certain passages of the Bible. And it gets me to think. And it's like the more and more I hear it, the more and more I question. I was like, wait, do y'all know what y'all saying? Because what y'all saying doesn't relate nothing to this passage, is my point.
There's a clip that I often put in a lot of my videos, and I do it because imagery is subliminal. I want people, I want to kind of plant the seed, and the clip says until we stop giving all, hold on, let me find the clip. I don't want to paraphrase it, but I can look at my phone and read it to y'all.
That's why I keep saying, man, half of us don't know what the hell we be talking about. I'm not talking about
Actually,
everybody.
let's put it up there. How about that?
And then
Just
you
most,
can't even,
right?
Let's get it
Me
done.
too. Me included.
oh, that was Commander. I was like, wait, he found the video.
And this is the video.
No,
While you're
Do I
looking for
already
the
have it
video.
done?
but it gets people mad. I be laughing because people
Yeah,
get so heated when you ask questions. I was like, wait, I'm just asking a question. Because what you're saying and what you're talking about has nothing to do with the passage you bought.
It's how
Oh
you
shit.
ask the question sometimes.
No, people
Let me
just
see
take
what
shit
that
up.
say on the screen.
It says until men stops giving credit to imaginary details for his accomplishments. Yeah, I said it right. For his accomplishments,
That
he will never take responsibility for his
atrocity.
atrocities. There you go.
Atrocities.
Damn, I had to really
So,
squint my eyes to see that.
yeah, it's little bit of a format. Gary told me to go vertical. Gary taught me.
You can like zoom in. You can take your fingers and zoom in.
But it
I'm on my
says
laptop. It's
basically
not touching.
Oh, I don't know.
until
My
we
phone not allows
until
me.
we until we stop
Sorry.
giving credit for the things that we accomplish in life to deity, meaning God, we never take responsibility for the things we fucked up. We keep blaming it on the devil. Oh, the devil made me do it. Oh, that's the devil. No, that's man. Man do the
Right.
fucked up shit on this planet, not the devil. And what we accomplish, we can say, you know, it was inspired by God, but ultimately we did it. We can find God and God can give us strength, but it's still us who do it. So we have to take responsibility for the fucks up we do and accountability for the good things we do.
Yep.
It can all be inspired. We all got divine sparks in us. So God is within us. And our actions dictate if we handling the God energy or the lower energy. I don't even like saying the devil, but the positive energy, what are we producing? The positive or the negative aspect of ourselves. What are we presenting to the world? And our actions dictate how the world is shaped. Things we do. Like if you think about this, man, if you hurt someone, like if you take someone out of there, right? Not only are you taking that person out of there, but it has a ripple effect. It affects different people who cared about that person, people who depended on that person. You know, it's a ripple effect. So what we do not only has an immediate impact, but it has a long lasting impact. You can send someone down a course of a negative life just by simply removing someone like the father out the home. You know, that's a big conversation that people have been having for years and years and years. Fathers come out the home and now we see the result of it, right? No discipline, no structure in the home. These kids, fatherless kids running around doing unscrupulous things. Why? Because the father not. Well, why ain't the father there? Oh, because of drugs, because the father made a bad decision and took him out the home. Reality. You know, we can say, you know, who put the drugs in the hood, but who took them? Just looking at things that exist. You know, we can always blame somebody else. They put guns in the hood, but who shot them? They put drugs in the hood, who smoked them? Well, people weak, okay, we know that. We had to be stronger than. Because I had weaknesses, I had addictions, I had to become stronger to overcome them. And if I didn't, then the addiction would have overcame me. Either I take control or the addiction take control. But we have to see who putting it in there. That's fine, but we also have to be responsible for self too. And that's even influence. You may not intend to influence someone in a negative way, but your actions cause them to feel a negative way or to do a negative way. You may have influence, right? Say if it was 1,000 people in here watching, and I said I hate something, I can influence some people to hate it too, just by them paying attention to me. By them paying attention to me, I have the potential to influence. So as content creators, you always hear Gary say, you know, our content is our character. We have to be careful of how we present information. We have to be responsible behind it because it has an impact.
Yeah, so true.
It could be anything though too. It could be like food. You could influence someone to try
Mhm.
some new food.
Yeah, like yesterday, they was trying to influence me to tell me that Kamala Harris is one of the greatest females alive right now, like the legendary Shirley. What was her name? Shirley Cogen, one of the women
Mhm.
activists. Get the fuck out of here!
Where's she at? Where's she at? I haven't seen
I
her.
was here. I was like, wait, for real? I was like, damn. I respect Shirley, first black woman, first black congresswoman, right? But Kamala, I have no respect for her. She went up the ladder getting head. Like poor men, they was like bouncing heads up the ladder. Like she was playing basketball with them as she was walking up. Like she was Michael Jordan
But guess
doing the
what?
slam dunk with
If
their
she
heads.
wouldn't be able to do that though, if the men wouldn't allow it, she wouldn't be able to do that.
Mhm. That's like, but that's like, you know, that's
Remember,
like today, right? You have women who use their body to entice men, right? So who do you blame? The man who fall for it or the woman who do it? You can say the women, if the women don't do it, then the man will fall for it. But why are the man not strong enough not to fall for it is my question.
Yeah. Could you say that the men manipulated that?
and the men manipulated her, and she fell for that shit.
You can, it can work. It can work either if, because if a woman sees that's what, imagine a girl, right? She doing all the wholesome things, but no man is paying attention. He's paying attention to the women who are unwholesome. So that can influence her because she desired that attention to become unwholesome to receive that attention.
Yep.
You make a
Yeah.
point, but we can't make excuses for her. She's still a hoe. My bad. I'm sorry.
No, it's not making an excuse. Like it's not
No, I'm
even a
just forget what you
submission.
were.
No, it's more of but it's an explanation because,
No, I
like,
know.
I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm just looking at what exists. This is
I know.
why
I just
people
don't
do
like
things.
Kamala. I just don't like
You
Kamala.
know,
Someone talk my shit.
Now her mom could have been a hoe. I don't know.
I'm
She could have
dead.
been influenced by her mom.
Word had to let me get away with that one, but he didn't. He could have let me get away with it, but he did. Damn, word.
well, no, Commander asked the question. I didn't answer it. It wasn't nothing like that.
No. I said I was talking
Because
my shit about Kamala.
you
Oh,
got moms that will teach their daughters how to be certain ways. Like, this is how you gotta be to get this from a man and blah blah blah. Like there's moms out there that will teach their daughters like that. And the daughter could either go opposite or could follow the lead.
influence in a positive or negative way. You know, if a mom trying to teach that to a girl can look at the mom like,
So do
damn,
you
you don't
think?
care about me and become better, or they can just accept it and, accept the teachings and
So
do it.
let me ask you this: do you think that once a mind is influenced, especially at a young age, do you think it's hard to unbrainwash it?
I'm not gonna say that falls on the individual, but I would say like the people who I choose to try to influence, no, because I look for people who are open to learn. But the average person, I think once people get comfortable, it don't even have to be benefiting them. But once a person get comfortable in doing something, it is a it is harder to try to show them a different way. You know, it don't matter if it's good for them or bad for them. Once they're comfortable with it, that's what they know.
You know what I noticed, though? Like we be influenced. Like as growing up, we get influenced with a lot of stuff, right? But once people
Hmm.
start noticing the truth and realizing the truth, right? It's like we. I think I don't know if we all go through it, but the majority of us, I'm gonna say it like that, right? Go through some emotional type thing once we figure it out. We've been like, manipulated, lied to, influenced, however you want to call it. You see where I'm coming from? Is that a normal thing?
It is. I mean, because
Attach your emotions to almost everything. Even your truth, the things you decided to believe in. Belief is an emotion. So once you start believing something, that's emotion. And it's hard to let that go when it's been with you for so long. So um, most of the time, people will try to justify something that they know ain't right because it's theirs. It's they comfortable with it. So even if you give them correct information, they will go look for things to solidify their current belief.
Yeah, you ever heard people say, "Oh, well, everybody's doing it." Well,
Mm-hmm.
I
they're
hate
doing
that.
it.
I call them trend followers.
That's why I say most people are sheep. And make sure
Yeah,
y'all catch part two of the words book of manipulation because we're gonna talk about why, and it's gonna get kind of yeah, I'm gonna be kind of assholeish, but I'm gonna be speaking facts. So that's next Sunday. Make sure y'all catch that. That's gonna be fun.
So I was talking to somebody just the day before yesterday, because the manipulation part was brought up about how, like the person's parents manipulated them. But my response is like, of course, like parents, that's their job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Indoctrination, like they're supposed to they're teaching you the best way they know how. Like they're trying to teach you their way. That's like
Mm-hmm.
normal. Like everyone's manipulating.
That's
wait,
what.
even my bad.
Okay, you got it, Rich.
No, I was gonna say, even with that, like, kids reach a certain age where they start realizing the truth themselves. Like, How far does the manipulation reach? Because it's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like, how can I say it? It's kind of like somebody putting you under a spell for a minute when you're a kid. You see where I'm coming from?
Well, it's degrees of manipulation. You know, it's definitely degrees of it. So, like from Commander's standpoint, like I am going to indoctrinate my kids. I am. I'm definitely going to manipulate the way they think because right now they don't know no better. They do stuff thinking it's okay, but they don't understand the consequences and repercussions behind their actions yet. So I have to manipulate them until they become aware, until they are able to comprehend their actions. So that's part of my job is to manipulate the things they do and say. My son likes saying poopy head. You know, he can't call everybody poopy head. He can't do that. So I have to manipulate him into a way until he understands how that can hurt someone's feelings or somebody can take that as disrespect. He don't understand the concept of disrespect yet. He's starting to grasp it, but he don't quite understand it. So he don't understand his actions. So until then, it's my job to manipulate him from not doing that shit.
To do it in
So
the right
like,
way.
yeah. So how far do manipulation reach? To the depths of the bowels. That's how far. You do it the right way, you create good shit. You do it the wrong way, you create bad shit. You know, people, like I said, when they think of manipulation, even if you look it up, you'll have to go to like a Britannica or maybe even maybe Cambridge to see a positive condensation of manipulation. You have to go back because most definitions of manipulation tells the negative aspect. But when you look at the functionality of manipulation, it's just altering something, changing something from one state to another. Like I said, when you tie your shoe, you manipulate the strings in your shoe. That's what you know. So that of tying your shoe is a form of manipulation. When you cook your food, you're manipulating the texture of the food. You're manipulating the taste of the food when you add seasoning and stuff to it. Are you not?
Yeah, when you like trim the bushes or
Yeah.
like you steer a plant to grow a certain direction, you're
When you control a car,
manipulating it.
you're manipulating it.
And I think the problem with certain parents nowadays, right? Their manipulation is not working because they're using fear as manipulation. I'm starting to think about certain
Mm.
things as you're talking because it's kind of like wait, okay, I'm seeing certain like a little picture slide going through my head right now on how I
Now,
see
now, we,
different behaviors in families.
now you got to talk about the tactics of manipulation. What are
Oh
you
shit.
using to manipulate? You see what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about that in the series, but that's what you fear. Love is a form of manipulation. That can be a tactic of manipulating. You know, someone who never really experienced love and you give it to them, it can change their whole perspective of life. I've been there, I've done that.
That's why you
You
have
know, just
the groomers. They groom
hmm
kids with certain things that maybe they don't have.
hmm or
So
just bringing somebody. I'm gonna talk about a positive aspect of it though too, but like she said, the groomer will be the negative aspect. You know, they giving them something that they never had, so they can attach themselves to them, so they feel comfortable and fear the loss of them taking that away. So they allow them to do unscrupulous things to them because now that they had that, what they thought was love, they fear it being gone because they never had it before. So if they don't let this person do X, Y, and Z, they go take them away, go away from them. And that fear of them not giving them that love allows them to manipulate or do the unscrupulous things to them. But in a positive aspect, think about someone who never had that love. So they look at life like can't nobody, ain't nobody capable of loving me. And then you give them that love. When they look at the world like, damn, it ain't that bad. You know, it rains because it nurtures the environment and feeds the flowers. So after the rain, the flowers are more beautiful. Yeah, they start looking at life differently.
That's why when you see a guy who has a new girlfriend or just got laid.
Mm-hmm.
They're walking different.
Mm-hmm.
They got a smile on their face, you can tell.
Got that lean to them. Yep.
They just been manipulated.
Well, I mean, it doesn't mean it's negative, but
Oh, I didn't say it was negative.
it could be like,
They got taken to
yeah.
heaven.
Yeah. But yeah. Like how sometimes you say, oh, the person's in the clouds, like these things that we take sometimes that manipulate our brain,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like alcohol. That's why people like alcohol,
Marijuana, shit, all them drugs.
everything.
You wonder why people get
Food,
addicted to
even
things.
food,
Mm-hmm.
right? We say, oh, comfort food.
Release that dopamine and serotonin, be feeling good
Hey,
out the full belly. Damn, I want some carrot cake now.
Carrot cake.
Man,
I like carrot
Oh.
cake.
I got the first time I ate carrot cake, bro. That's the first time I felt heaven.
Do you like the cream cheese topping or no topping?
I can do without the topping. I won't mind it,
Mm,
but I won't be mad if I ain't got it.
yeah.
you need that cream cheese topping.
I'm not big on like frostings and toppings. I'm not big.
I'm
on
not
that.
big on frosting. It's just, it's cheesecake frosting. That should be popping, especially homemade.
Yeah, I remember that's probably the greatest thing my ex-wife did for me was make me cheesecake. I loved her cheesecake.
You know what? I'm a weirdo, right? I'm the only person in my family that doesn't eat the frosting off of a cake. I eat the cake, but not the frosting. I'm not into
Man,
frosting.
it's this bakery up here called Holiday Market. Man, if you get some cake or anything from there and you don't eat the frosting, my wife will go ape shit.
She'll eat
You
the
wasted
frosting.
that frosting. Yeah, the frosting. I'm not into like if it's not like chocolate and peanut butter, I'm not really into sweets. I'm not really into it. Like
I've been
Reese's,
known to
I'm a
take your
hoe.
frosting. Like if you don't want your frosting, I'll take it. But it's gotta
I
be
found
like a whipped
another human like
cream.
me.
I like
Y'all
the whipped
weird,
cream
man.
one.
I mean, you could keep the peanut butter, but I love chocolate. I'm not into candies, but all my life it's been chocolate, 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 chocolate. Everybody like, you weird. Listen, keep the Skittles, keep the Nerds, keep all that shit. I just want chocolate.
I love fucking almond joys. I like the coconut. Yeah.
Them Jones be popping.
I
Have you
put
had the
that
coconut
lime in the
pineapple?
coconut.
I'm not into
They have
pineapple. Oh,
they
Huh?
have a coconut, pineapple, and then covered in
Oh,
chocolate.
I didn't have that. I had a coconut pineapple cake. That shit was slapping. It was
Yeah.
pineapple in the cake with the coconut topping, like the coconut shit. That shit was slapping.
Yeah, that's good too.
Boy, you don't know what you're missing, right?
I said I eat all fruits but pineapple. You better learn about me today.
I love pineapple, man.
Pineapple's
I'll
the
pop a whole
only.
top. I will pop a
Listen,
top of a pineapple.
I've tried different fruits. Pineapple's the only one I can't.
Is
I
it
love
too acidic?
pineapple.
It's too tangy. Ugh. It's
Yeah.
like
I
I don't
like
know. It's
tangy.
not sweet for me.
You ever had a fried
And then
pineapple?
the texture of it is nasty.
Man, I swear black people fry everything. Fried pineapple is slapping. Like
Yeah.
Wait a minute. He said fried pineapple.
You grill
fried
it, like you
pineapple.
grill it.
Yeah, well, we had it in the deep. They put it in the deep fryer. Threw that
I
bitch
mean,
in the where you put deep fry the turkey. Put a damn
Oh
whole
wow.
pineapple and shaved it. Put it in there, man. Popped
Oh
that. I
wow.
was like, God damn! I had a barbecue pineapple too, but that fried pineapple, I'm telling you, man. You give
I never had that.
I'm telling you, you give a black person a fryer, they'll fry anything.
Americans got Italians pissed off with the pineapple on a pizza.
I didn't like that at first, but I like it now. It's
I can
straight.
eat
I can
it.
eat
It's
it.
not my favorite, but I can eat
I
it.
wouldn't order it, but if it's there, I eat it. I wouldn't order it. I rather have bell peppers and not bell pepper, banana peppers and mushrooms. Nah, I'll be all right.
Do you guys like Brussels sprouts?
Fried. I don't
Asparagus?
like them. I love asparagus.
I love asparagus.
Yeah, I love asparagus. Like when I was
That's
vegan, my
what
wife got so tired of fucking asparagus.
What about
I used to
artichoke?
fuck that. In a dip, I eat it. I probably just wouldn't eat it.
Yeah, artichoke's kind of weird. It's kind of like stringy.
Yeah, like in a spinach dip and artichoke. So I slap that.
Yeah, artichoke dip's good.
Man, look, this is off topic. So I got this dent in my hair from the surgery when I got the shunt in it, and it annoys me so bad because my hair fell out all around it, except for in the damn crevice. So when I be cutting my hair, it'd be so hard trying to dig in this dent, trying to get this hair out. It was just random because I was touching my bald head.
Okay.
Like, man, I missed a patch of hair in here.
You missed a patch.
It's not a big patch, but it ain't silky smooth like the other. I can feel the stubble. The rest of my head is like silky smooth.
My husband cuts his own hair. Like ever since the pandemic, he cuts his own hair. But he's always like showing me, did I miss a spot? Did I do it right? How does it look? Yeah.
Yeah, when I used to keep some of my hair, I used to do that. I cut my hair since I was like in my late 20s. They done took my hairline back and I'm straight. I cut my own. So like it used to be hard to fade the back. So I make sure, I let my wife fade the back.
Oh no, you can't let me cut no hair. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
It'll be all crooked.
Just get a bowl. I'm
Get a
joking.
bowl.
That's what they used to do back in the day. They'd put a bowl on your head to cut the perfect back line. That's why they call them chili bowls. There wouldn't
Get
be
a
no fade.
stencil.
Now they got that little white marker. I forgot the
The
name.
women put stencils like for their eyebrows.
Man, that shit they be doing geometry and shit on their face, bro. I'd be like, y'all crazy. Algebra equations to get the eyebrow right. Well, I'm so happy I ain't a female. I'm happy.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
That's why it'd be hard for me to understand. I ain't saying it's wrong. I'm just saying for me it's hard to understand why a man would want to be a female. Like that shit like a burden to me. I'm good.
It's kind of like difficult because like, man, some of the girls like they just like overdo things and then you just don't know like, are you transgender or not, or like it's hard to tell sometimes.
Oh my god.
Because they're like heavily eyelash. Everything's like a lot. And then I'm like, I don't know.
I've seen a couple people on social media the last 2 days. I ain't know. I'm like, man, it ain't for me to determine. I'm good. I'm just happy I'm married. I ain't got to worry about none of that.
Right.
So y'all females put makeup on as a form of manipulation. Y'all got people thinking y'all look one way and then y'all really looking. Holy shit.
I'm glad I don't wear makeup then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just do a little bit. It depends.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I mean, I like my wife. She do things to highlight certain features she had. I don't see nothing wrong with that. But it be people, man. That shit be looking like fucking witchcraft. Motherfuckers be coming out looking like AI for real. They be like funeral ready. I seen this one lady. I remember I used to work with this one lady. I'm like, God damn, it looked like she just came from the funeral. But like, you can see how packed the foundation was on her face. I'm looking like, damn, you look alive and dead at the same time. That shit crazy. That shit crazy, man.
You're supposed to bring it down, like bring the makeup down to the neck, like so it blends in better.
And then I seen her one day with her makeup off, and I was looking like, that's why you put so much on. Because you got these big ass potholes in your face. You covering up holes, bro. Like that shit wild.
Well, then you can make like a big nose, like you could slim
Small.
down a big nose. Yeah, I
Mhm.
trip out on that part too.
Like you literally drawing on your face. Halloween every day.
Hi, Dee Dee. Dee Dee's in the chat.
DD, yeah, DD. I got a so my son nickname is DD, and I got an older cousin. She a female. Her name is DD. So like my mom on a cruise with him, and my mom was like, "DD, say hi, say hello to your cousin DD." And my cousin was like, "What up, though, DD?" And he was like, "You DD too? It's two DDs, Dad." I'm like, "Yeah, it's two DDs."
Let's talk about nicknames, because the other day I was thinking about, I was watching something, I don't know, I think it was a body cam or something, and everybody had nicknames, and they're like, what's the person's real name, and like nobody knew, and I'm like, ooh,
Mm-hmm.
that's why they have nicknames.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows their name.
And that's I got like two friends that never knew my real name, and like I thought they knew, but no one really called me by my real name except for like my mom. My dad, he just recently started calling me by my real name. After I had a kid, he called me by my real name, but very few people in my life call me by my real name. My wife do now.
I don't know, I just feel like there's like, I don't know, do Puerto Ricans give nicknames? Is that like a thing?
I get everybody a nickname. I don't like saying y'all real name. I don't really care about y'all real name. I
Because
get
I feel like
everybody a nickname.
in my family we don't give nicknames. Like I'm trying to think, like, no, but I hear a lot of people like have nicknames, like since they were little, right? They like pick up on these nicknames since they're little, and it kind of just sticks with them.
I ain't gonna tell you how many aliases I have. Well, I got a couple nicknames, but I mean, I guess what everybody mainly know me as is D. Everybody just call me D. I used to get angry when I was younger and people call my real name. I get upset. Only people who call me my real name is my teacher and my coaches. Other than that, I ain't want nobody call me by my real name. I just didn't like hearing it.
But yeah, like if it's a like D, you know, it's like it's not completely different from your name, like the first letter of your name. But some people have completely different, has nothing to do with their name.
Yeah, like my mom's side of the family call me one thing, my dad's side of the family call me another thing. But when they talking about me, everybody call me D.
Yeah, like okay, Rachel, Rach, or something like that, right? Like that's kind of normal, I think.
Almost every female I know named Rachel, I call them Ray.
Ray.
I don't know why. Yeah, I just call him Ray. But I'm not a boy, no, like a sun ray, motherfucker.
It's because we're a ray of sunshine.
What's in the back chat? Someone's in the back chat. It's a TikTok.
Is it talking to be ticking? I don't know what's going on my computer. For some reason, me in this mode. Did I freeze again?
No, you're here.
Oh, let me try. I clicked it and everything froze on my computer. Oh, I gotta do that update. Page not available. Bro, what the fuck is going on?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm back.
You okay, word?
Yeah, it kept freezing and it wouldn't let me view the video. I had to kept saying sorry, try again, and I had to click it like 3 different times.
But yo, what the fuck is the point of silent letters if we ain't gonna use them? Why is the letter even in the word? Who even cares? Why are you spelling shit like this? Nigga, my cousin just texting talking about, cuz, you hungry? I made some lasagna. I didn't know lasagna had a silent G in it. I'm reading as lesser gunner. I'm like, cuz, hell no, I ain't never had no lesser gunner. What is that? She texts me back like, nigga, you ain't never had no lesser gunner. That's how I'm reading it. So I called. I said, nigga, what the fuck is lesser gunner? She said, nigga, that's lasagna. I said, what? She said, you ain't know lasagna had a silent G in it. You ain't never heard Lil Wayne talking about real G's moving silent like lasagna. I said, oh shit, I get it now. But what the fuck is the point? Why is there a silent G in lasagna if I ain't gonna use the G, bro? Who is coming up with this English shit like this? Look, bro, I'm not spelling shit how you spelling them. No, nigga, fuck that, bro. Another human being can help with this shit, bro. I'm gonna spell shit how I want to spell it, bro. I'm not putting it. I'm spelling lasagna Lazonyaa. Lasagna. I'm not spelling Wednesday with two D's. It's Wenzday. Wednesday. I ain't
Wait,
putting
he said Z.
elephant
Yeah,
CLLASINT.
Wednesday.
I'm not even about to be using these letters, bro. So if you see me, if I text you from here on and I'm spelling shit like this, bro, don't try to correct me.
Just comply.
Bro,
Get
if
used to
English
it.
ain't one of the
Comply.
most dumbest languages ever, yo, what the fuck is the point?
Oh shit. Oh man. He said lasagna.
Lasagna. There's words I hear Rachel say, and then I'm like, am I saying them wrong? Is she saying them wrong? Is there two ways to say like facade?
Y'all
Like,
gotta watch
sometimes
these
Is
videos.
is the dialect. Is the dialect you use.
Yo, you gotta
Yeah.
watch these videos. I put like 4 videos in the back chat.
If anybody will stitch this video and
What the fuck?
ma'am, we don't brush our teeth that way. That's not how you do that. That's not
Wait,
how
I
you
missed it.
brush your teeth.
I missed
If
it.
anybody will stitch this video and
Why
show
can't I?
Oh. Oh no,
Ma'am.
no.
ma'am,
You gotta watch the other
we
two.
don't brush our teeth that way.
She gotta
not how you do
practice.
that.
She was getting ready.
That's not how you brush your teeth. If anybody will stitch this video and show her how we brush it, that's not how you brush your teeth. That's not.
Yo, he said that's not how you brush your teeth. That's not, ma'am.
She's brushing her throat.
I would have been throwing up.
Hey, when you brush your teeth, you're supposed to brush your gums too. That's what the dentist says.
Skipped her
Brush your
gums and went
gums,
straight to her
brush,
throat.
brush the top of your mouth, brush everywhere. But don't go that far.
Yo,
Hey, some people try to brush their tonsils, man.
How? The fuck? You know, I did. It's. How, honey? How? And I think everyone knows what I'm talking about when I say how.
and
The
word
fuck?
won't throw one.
No, I did. It's. You know what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm throwing down, honey? It couldn't be me. It couldn't be me, honey. Fuck around and bruise my liver for 5 minutes of some frisky business. I don't think
What the
so.
fuck?
Get off of me. I cannot breathe. Shit. The fuck? Trying to puncture my lung? No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Why is he
Rupture a kidney? Nope. Not happening. Back the fuck up. Shit.
That's
My
not how he
uterus hurts just looking at that video. The fuck? I have questions. Oh, I have so many questions.
You don't want
How?
the answers.
Hey, is Pop the Balloon on Netflix now?
I don't know. I got
think
tired
it
of Pop
is.
the Balloon. I stopped watching it until the other day I watched an episode again.
Or who?
I had a
Pop the Balloon.
Wait, I can't hear y'all.
Pop the Balloon.
Oh, Pop the Balloon. I seen that drawing on Facebook the other day. I was cracking up. They was doing on the Spanish drawing.
okay. Look, I got
There's a
this.
Spanish
It
one?
say, listen. It say new arrival. Pop the Balloon live is now on Netflix. I'm about to
Oh,
say
that's what's up. Well, she's getting millions of views. Or they are. I don't know. Her and her boyfriend.
Oh shit.
oh, this look different. Oh,
I
no,
got bored of it. Like, I don't know. I just got bored of it.
I don't
Well,
think
you
this
got
is her.
play that
That be
last
fucked
video
up.
with the chick getting pulled over with the popo.
This
It's
ain't
like a,
Arlette.
it's like a lot of the same. I feel like they're just there like promoting their business. Like a lot of them are entrepreneurs. I don't think they're really looking for
Oh, that'd
love.
be fucked up if Netflix took her shit.
Maybe they sold it to them.
Let me see
Maybe
if
they
I
sold
find
it to
that
them.
Spanish pop the balloon John. That John was funny. I don't even know how I came
Oh
across
yeah,
this.
yeah. This ain't Arlette. That's fucked up. Shit, the Nigerian one be funny, man.
And he got me a ticket. I just got pulled over by motherfucking police. And he got me a ticket. He gone now though. I feel like this how I feel. Fuck this ticket. Like what he saying. Fuck this ticket. Yeah.
So they got jail.
Tried to pull me over. He said I'm going too fast. The speed limit said 30, but 60 was on the dash. I told him that this car they made for going that slow. Shit, I was in a hurry. I really needed to go. I asked him for a warning. He ended up telling me no, just in case he trigger happy. I had to pull out my phone, but he took off and ended up leaving me all alone. Don't want to pay this ticket. That's why I'm singing this song. This shit wrong. Fuck this ticket. Hey, but nah, for real though. Hey, shout out to Juvie for that song Wicked though. I'm finna go pay this ticket, y'all.
She said she gonna pay that ticket at the end. She knows.
Hell yeah, I pay every ticket. I don't care if I want to or not. I'm straight.
Hello, welcome. What's your name?
I don't be playing with no tickets, man.
Hello, my name
Oh,
is Johnny.
shit.
Johnny, how old are you?
I'm 34.
34. Okay, what do you do?
Oh, my
I
bad.
am a risk taker. I'm a road runner. I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay,
I'm a businessman. And last but not least, I'm a personal trainer.
nice. Alrighty. So, what are some things you like to do for fun?
I like to do a lot for fun. I'm a big hiker because I moved out here to Phoenix
Mhm.
because I love mountains and hiking, working out. It's a big fitness community out here.
Yeah.
It's easier to stay fit because you don't got to hibernate in the winter. I like to go out to eat. I love seafood boils. You know, all y'all know y'all love seafood boils, so don't even. But I like to do, you know,
Everyone
just
popped, huh?
smoothies, workout,
Okay,
you know,
nice.
other habits, smoke a little bit, you know, just a little bit thing. I ain't
All
gonna lie, I mean, shoot, it is what it is.
That's
Damn.
So, what do
bad.
you look for in a woman, Johnny?
I look for a woman that know how to
Won't
listen,
pop her
respect her
balloon.
man. I know that, you know, God is first, but, you know, when it comes to leadership, it's, you know, if you want a man to protect and provide, you got to respect him to a degree and,
Okay,
let him lead.
got it. Now, what are some of your deal breakers?
Deal breakers is someone that is just straight up atheist or don't believe in God, don't have any kind of faith. If you don't work out or at least keep up with your body, if you don't like to have fun, like I like to, you know, go out of town. You know, just that's about it.
That's good. Okay, so we got some pop balloons. Let's go on over there, see why they ended up popping.
Okay.
All right, your name and age, and why did you end up popping your balloon?
I'm Erica. I'm 35, and honestly, you said you're 34 and you're a road runner. Yeah.
Oh, see.
Like, what does that mean?
Okay,
What you
so
doing?
I'm glad you said that
Okay.
because I knew it was gonna come up. But the name of one of my business is called Road Runners Rentals. I do
Oh.
Turos, Airbnbs, and I
Oh.
transfer things from like place to place using like another app called UShip. I combined it to one
Okay.
big company, Road Runners. And
Okay.
I like to say I'm a road runner because of that.
All
Yeah.
right, I see you, black man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you clarified. That was just a little scary for me,
Yeah.
but I'm still gonna pass just because you're a little younger than me. I have 2 kids, and I kind of want to settle down and then travel with my man, and but You're so young.
Man, I ain't talking with you and your goddamn kid. Oh,
Oh,
I'm
I
on
just
mute.
got it.
Oh,
Roadrunner.
Yeah,
Like, did they think he's like running illegal stuff? Is that what they thought?
probably. Because he bought. Probably. So I wanted to talk about this case, Rachel. Did you hear about that case in Detroit when that man unalived his ex, the mama, and her niece?
I have not.
Not sure.
Is it like recent?
Same case
Yeah,
that I'm about to
they
react
found
to.
they found him in a burning car.
Nope, not heard of it.
Yeah,
Because
heard of it.
I think it's two different
So,
cases then. Because somebody sent me a case of a man that just found out his niece had died. So I'm not sure if it's the same one.
That you were going to talk about the two. Oh, sorry.
you said
I
who?
gotta go to
Is that
Facebook
something
to
you're
find
playing?
it.
Oh, I hear
I'm about to
something.
play it now. I'm about to play the news thing now. So I want to talk about this because I'll tell you after this. I'll tell you what I want to talk about.
Lincoln in custody, and he has a long criminal history. WTF is covering this developing story all day. He joins us live outside Detroit Police Headquarters
Wait,
with the latest.
is that you, Rachel?
No,
Because I can't hear.
Well, Meredith, according to a federal
There's like
complaint,
two things
investigators
playing.
say they were
Oh,
able
it's
to
gone now.
track down Edward Redding's vehicle using license plate readers throughout the city. According to that complaint, detectives were able to identify Redding's vehicle traveling near the location of where the three bodies were discovered. Now, they were discovered inside a burning SUV in an alley near 30th and Milford Street. That's near I-94 and I-96. According to that federal complaint, the Michigan State Police tried to stop Redding once he was located, but he fled the scene, leading police on a high-speed chase beginning in River Rouge and ending near Schaefer and 4th Street. Redding was caught quickly after trying to run from his vehicle. Investigators say they found a gun inside his car. Now, he is a convicted felon with a long criminal history, hence the firearm charges. Neighbors living in the area say they are still in shock. 3 bodies were discovered nearby.
It's very heartbreaking to hear a family, and I'm not sure what it was, but nothing justifies someone getting killed. But it's so tragic. It's so tragic all the way around because it hurts. Although it didn't happen in this community, it hurts the community as a whole.
Now, back here live, now it's important to point out that Redding was only a person of interest in connection to the 3 bodies discovered inside that burning vehicle. He has not been charged in relation to that. However, if convicted of the felony firearm charge, he faces 10 years in prison. Guys, back to you.
All right, Gino, thanks. Just such an incredibly sad story. So sad, but we'll keep following it.
So that's just a snippet. I think I want to talk about this, but
just describe, if you can, describe Ava for me.
So what happened?
so they found. Oh, let me play this. Let me play this because this is the mother of the child, so you get a little bit more context.
All we could have asked for. Funny, smart, witty, sassy. She said she wanted to be a gymnast, gymnast, gymnastics, arts and craft.
That ain't really fucked up, man.
She was just a great kid all around. I never had. This was just my baby girl.
Okay. And your mom, your sister.
My mom and my sister, those were my biggest support systems. Every time, anytime I ever needed them, I could always call on them. My mom, she's a mom. She's always there. And my sister, always there. Any call, just always there.
And so if you can take me back to, would it be Saturday night?
No, I was on vacation. So my mom and my sister purposely were trying to not to contact me a lot just because that was supposed to be my break. And the last time I was talking to both of them was around 2:30. And the last message I told my mom was my flight was delayed, so I will be coming back later on Sunday. I didn't talk with them that Sunday morning. And once I got to the airport and got back with my connecting flight, I had got a phone call from my sister's friend asking if I talked to my sister or my mom, and that made me call them, and that's just when everything just unraveled, and I found out that they were missing. And it's
Her
just
mom, her sister, and her daughter.
turned
Her
upside down
daughter,
ever
yeah.
since that
Her
call.
mom and sister was babysitting the daughter. And it was the sister's ex-boyfriend.
I got
that,
back. I
but
got back and I seen the news, the car. I asked my friends. I asked my daughter's friend if she was there. I called her dad. I asked if she was over there, and no one had heard from anybody. Constantly calling my mom, phone going straight to voicemail. Well, no, she just wasn't answering.
bro, I can't watch this right
And
now.
then I asked.
I ain't even gonna hold you up, bro. She got her mom, her sister, and her bro. That's the top three, bro. That you know what I'm saying? Like you took everything. Oh no, bro. I would fucking lose it. Chosen one, what up though? Appreciate you. I would fucking lose it, bro. You take my mom, my kid, and no.
What's up, chosen one? Yeah, that's too much. That's too much.
But that's not even the worst, right? So they found the mom and the mom and the sister, right? Both of them had got pop out in the head, right? So execution style. But the daughter, this is why I want to talk about it, because these dudes are monsters. Like when you see these signs, y'all got to get the fuck away from these people. You know, there's no point in dealing with them on anything because he slit the little girl throat.
How old was the little girl?
I think she was like, oh man, I don't want to lie.
Like
She was young.
teenager or like?
No, I think she was like, oh man, I don't want to lie.
It's okay. You don't have to say.
I think she was like 7. I want to say 7.
It's like, what happened? Like, what got into him? Like, what happened?
It was the lady, not the mom, but the sister's ex-boyfriend. So they just caught him, so they don't really know what happened yet, or they don't know his side of the story. They just know he snapped.
Yeah, like why he did that.
And this is why I want to talk about it though, because I knew victims and I knew victims of something similar like that happening too, and then I knew the assailant.
I knew both of the dudes who did it, but I was close to the victims. The reason I knew the dude was because of the victims in one party. Does that make sense? Like I was cool with this girl. We kind of grew up together, and
You're
I
talking
was
about
actually
like a
cool.
whole different scenario.
Yeah, so I
Similar
had a
scenario.
right. I had a homeboy, and his cousin was like tomboy, and she played basketball with us. So I got cool with her. When she was dating this dude, she liked the dude. She was a real tomboyish. Dating this dude, and we were like, no, he crazy. Like, leave him alone. He weird. He was
Why
old
was he crazy or weird?
all the time. Because he graduated high. We was like I think I was in 10th grade. They was in the 11th, maybe 12th grade. He was already graduated, but he was like, he used to get drunk and play basketball with us all the time, but he used to always get drunk and do shit. Like, we'd be there hooping, and he'd stop and just piss right in front of everybody. Like, bro,
He would do
like,
what?
he would piss. Like, if he had to
Oh,
pee,
piss?
right behind,
Oh.
right behind those buildings and them. And he was like, always on peeing. Like, he was like uber aggressive. It was like,
Yeah, was he like high energy?
yeah, and it was like, so I used to think he was slow. Like, man, he gonna fuck around and do something crazy. So she started dating him. I think they dated for like not even a month. Broke up with him. He was like, I'm gonna kill you. And he told her that. And I'm like, man,
And they only
like, if
dated
the
a month?
cousin, yeah. And he was, when he said that, the cousin was like, my homeboy was like, bro, I do this, I do that. He said, I'll come over and kill your family too. And 2 days later, he went over to her house and he unalived everybody in the house. 6 people. He
He
unalived 6
sounds like
people in the house.
very impulsive. Like I knew a guy
Yeah.
like that and he was like very impulsive and he would do like wild things and he would like come up to you, like he would come up to me and like grab my face or like come behind me and like bear hug me, like do weird things that like normally nobody does.
Mm-hmm. Young people, you gotta watch. And then I had one dude, we grew up together. He was my homeboy. But he was like, he was real quiet. He was like, reserved, stayed to himself. But he was into like guns and shit like that. He was into like exotic animals and shit like that. And he dated this girl. His family, he had money. And she was using him. And when he found out that he was using him, he said, B, I'm gonna kill you. And he did. He went in there and what he said at court was the only reason he unalived her father and her sister is because they tried to stop him from unaliving her.
Well, yeah, duh. Like they were doing the right thing to try to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
But what was it about him that they couldn't stop? Like what kind of weapon did he use? Like an automatic weapon?
Nah, he had a mag though. Yeah, Magnum. That bitch pump horses. Yeah, 357.
You would think that a month is like a month is, I don't know, like a month is a month. It's not even long enough to be like, oh, I was with this person for like 4 years and then
The
that's
first
why.
dude, the crazy dude I was telling you about that wasn't cool with me, he did it with a knife. He went in with a big Michael Myers knife and unalived everybody in the house, like 6 people. The other dude was my friend, the one I grew up with, he had a 357 Magnum. And he said the dad stepped in front of him and popped him, and then the sister stepped in front of him and he popped her too.
So what were the signs? What were the red flags with those people?
The crazy one was obvious, right? Well, both of them to me was obvious when the motherfucker threatened you and said they would kill you. I don't take that shit lightly. When people go to that level, when they feel like, for me, it was like, for him, the one who wasn't obvious, it was obvious when it became known that he had nothing to lose. He felt like, I don't know how, but you know how people attach themselves to people. He felt they dated for like a year. And then he found out that she was cheating on him. But when people attach themselves to people and that become their world and it's taken away, then they have nothing. And when people have nothing to lose, they'll take everything with them. That's why I say I don't deal with people who have nothing to lose. I just don't deal with them. I had too many examples of people not caring about themselves so they can't care for others. I had too many examples of that.
There
And
was a
that's what,
story I heard.
oh no, go ahead. You
My
got
bad, go ahead.
I
There
was
was a
done.
story. I think it was like the mom was saying how the guy unalived her daughter, but how she was saying like like we loved him, like we cared for him. He didn't really have family, and we took him in, and we were like he was a good kid. Like everything was like nice what she was saying about him. But the thing that stood out to me is that part, like how you're saying, like he didn't really have anybody, and they kind of like adopted him into the family. And so, like you said, maybe he's attaching himself, and then so when they feel like they're gonna
They got
lose
away.
that, they crash out, maybe. But that's not
And
everybody, right? That's not everybody who doesn't have a family and finds comfort in,
the
somebody.
potential is there. The potential is there when people have nothing for them to not to do impulsive things like unaliving people. When they have nothing to lose, you have nothing. So what does it matter if I do this? It doesn't matter if I go to jail or die. I have nothing. So those people who have nothing, then it's kind of like the only thing they do have is what?
I kind of knew somebody like that, and the girl was saying how when when she broke up with him, he was like threatening to unalive himself, and so she's like, he's manipulating me because like he wants me to get back with him, and then she would go see him because she didn't want him to hurt himself, but then he
Mm-hmm.
would do it again, and like he would use it as a manipulation tactic. But I never thought that person would then think about unaliving her, because he never said that. But there's the potential, like you said.
There's the potential. That's what we have to identify. That's how you identify things before they happen, is understanding the potential of it happening. And it's
She
more
got away
likely
from
than
him,
things
luckily.
get luckily. You know what I'm saying? Luckily.
Yeah, luckily,
It's
but I
all
think
about
she ended up
potential.
having to slowly like ease back, like ease. Like I try not to be mean to people. I like try to like slowly ease off.
I tell people up front now. I used to do that, but in your case, that's I would recommend that in your case, being a female, not being even me as the caliber of a person I am, where I feel I can defend myself and my family on a high degree. I still have to be careful because still, again, I have something to lose and the person doesn't. So they would come at me with everything because they have nothing to lose. I would be hesitant. Like before I was married and with kids, I wouldn't hesitate. I wouldn't if I felt threatened, I'm gonna eliminate the threat. That's just how I felt. Now I can't do that. I have to be more methodical, more strategic because my action has consequences that not only affect me but my family. I have something to lose now. So
Yeah.
I have to be careful how I do things or how I approach situations or how I handle things. I believe I told that story, when I'm looking like I'm trying to say this without sounding crazy. But if it was like more than one person trying to fight me, I would get excited. I would feel like it's a challenge. Like, damn, I get to take on 2-3 people. I wouldn't mind. It wouldn't, it's a challenge to me. Now I wouldn't, if I'm out with my family, I'm straight. I'm gonna walk away. I'll walk away from conflict because now there's implications and my family might get hurt. But back 10 years ago, no, I was just even when I first met my wife, I was still fighting.
Well, for girls and like guys alike, it's like you don't know what to do. Like you can cut them off and ghost them, or you can slowly back away, like ease off. Like you don't know what's the right thing to do.
And see now where I'm at in life, like I told you, it's potential is identifying certain characteristics. So I won't even like that when I see a person that has nothing to lose, I don't feel I don't see why I need to interact with them. There's no reason. So I just eliminated that whole I don't have to worry about, becoming friends with this person and later on finding out, I don't need to be friends and trying to ease away from them. So it's being able to spot those tendencies or those traits within people to know. That's why I said, like, observe people, understand them, and see if it's right for you to interact with them. That's why I
If it's
always
like a
encourage that.
friend or an acquaintance, Depends. A lot of times I'm gonna cut you off and ghost you. Like it just depends. It depends because some people they take that like they can't take that. Oh, you're not answering, you're
Rejection.
not this, like you're completely ghosting. Yeah, some people cannot accept that. And they're gonna come at you even harder because
Mm-hmm.
nah, you can't just ghost me. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna go where you're at, I know where you work, I know where you be at. It's scary. But there's I think I had talked about this. There's a they were both firefighters, this couple, and she was like the aggressive one. He wanted to break up and she didn't, so she kept doing things like how, oh, I'm gonna unalive myself, and then he'd go and comfort her and stuff like that. But the last time she showed up, I think at his work, she showed up somewhere he was at, and she had a weapon, and she told him to get in the car. Told him to get in the car. She might have said she wanted to unalive herself. I don't know, but that was the end of them. She unalived him and herself.
Mm.
And he tried to get away from her. He tried to break up with her several times and move on, but like she was way too attached.
And see, I want to use this as an example, but I don't want to. So I'm not going. So anyway, so once upon a time, it was a person that stated that I be buttering people biscuits, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I initially heard it, I looked at my intent and I kind of dismissed it. But then I had to consider what the person actually said, right? And then once I considered it, I understood the actions that follow behind it. You know, even though, you know, Gary would say your intent does not trump someone's feeling, but I understood that the person felt like I gave them something or added something.
Like leading them on?
Yeah. It's like, you know, I added and then I took it away. So now I understand the response or reaction that the person took. Because at first I'm like, I didn't understand it, but I was looking from my perspective and not the person's perspective. But once I looked at it, it made sense why the person reacted the way they did, because it was like they had something that made them feel good, and then I took it away from them, or they felt like I took it away from them. And that's the response you have in people when they have something that they're not accustomed to, that's enjoyable, and then you take it from them, then they had an adverse reaction. You know, anger, upset, mad, bitterness, all those things follow. So even in a relationship aspect, like you wonder why people can't easily let go is because they was receiving something from you that they probably didn't receive, and now it's gone, and they want that back. And if they can't have it, then they tend to lash out.
Yeah, that's where the discernment comes in. Because, like, I mean, so far I've done good, but I heard somebody say this, and I was like, "Ooh, that's smart." Like, instead of you leaving the person, you make it so that they want
The
to leave
person will leave
you.
you. Yeah, you make
Yeah,
them
and I
think
was
it's
like,
their
that is
idea.
smart.
Yeah,
I mean, I did something like that, and you can call it manipulation, but I
it
kind of
is.
did something like that to someone recently. No, you know, it was like a acquaintance person, and it's like, okay, yeah, it's like make it so that they want to leave you, and they feel like better because they left you.
Make them think it's their idea of the split.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best. That's, you know, the easiest way to manipulate someone is to allow them to think they're in control. We're gonna go over all that.
Yeah, I turned that shit around on them
Yeah.
in that way, like, and it worked. But I just recently learned that. I heard somebody say it. I can't remember. That's what men should do. It was the topic that men should do that with women.
Why do you think people say it's not you, it's me?
Right. But it's always them.
Yeah, but it's always is. Yeah, that's why people use that term. It's to put the onus on themselves to make it seem like they're the problem and not the person. But if you really think about it, is that you breaking off that relationship is actually beneficial for both of y'all, because if you continued that relationship, you would have been fake. That wouldn't have really benefited the person. Like think about, let's say you're in a situation where we use a friendship. Okay, I really don't want to be a friend, but I don't want to hurt your feelings. But I can't be a real friend to you because I don't want to be. So it's better off if we go our separate ways, because if we continue being friends, I would never be a real friend to you.
Right. But sometimes we see the signs and then we ignore them. Sometimes we ignore the signs, our instincts, our discernment, and we shouldn't, but it does happen even though we know.
And I mean, the older I get, the easier it becomes. But you always want to see the best in people, especially if you have experience with the person and you've seen they better. You want to think that's them. That's their naturally, that's their natural state, is this best version of them. Even though you ain't seen the shit in years, but you know it's there. So you hope the person can get back to it. And by being a good friend or lover or whatever, family member, whatever it is, maybe your influence can help them achieve that. That's what we all like to think. But the reality is people will be who they are, regardless.
Well, sometimes I think, oh, I can handle it. Like, I can handle it. But then it gets
Until
to a
you
point
can't.
I don't want to handle it. Yeah, I don't want to handle it. Not no more.
I told you, what's one of my, I don't know what I want to put on the hoodie first, but ignorant is bliss until you got to pay for that shit. We ignorant to people's, I don't want flaws. We'll say it like that. We ignorant to people's flaws until it affects us. And once it affects us, then it becomes a problem. But before then, until it affects us, a lot of times it don't become a problem. That's like I was asking in text earlier. Were you surprised when your friend did that? Well, yeah, I was kind of. Have you seen him do it to other people? Yeah. Well, you're capable of it. So why would you be surprised? You see what I'm saying? If I know, it's
like,
just
why
a
would you
matter
think
of,
you're special? It's not gonna happen to
that's
you.
it right there. That's fucking it right there. Well, they won't do that to me. I used to think that all the time.
Yeah,
I
like,
see
I'm cool.
somebody.
They're not gonna do it to me because I'm
Yeah.
cool. We're cool.
No, it's just a matter of time. You're just not the object of their attention right now. That's all it is. Eventually, when everybody else gone and you left, it's your turn. That's how it usually be. That's how it usually occurs.
There's always like a price to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Like in everything. I mean, even in good relationships, there's always a price. It's just like how much? How much is it gonna cost you?
I was watching. You ever watch that show 911?
No.
So my wife got me watching. You watching that? My wife got me watching. I'm on season
Oh, is
2.
it the 911 calls on YouTube? Or no?
No,
You on
it's a
season
show.
2? You just catch
It's a show called. It's a show called 911, and it's like this. They got the dispatch people, they got the cops, they got the firefighters, and the EMS people. Right? They just, it's a story about them. So anyway, it's this lady in there. She's a 911 dispatcher, and she take care of her mom. And it's this young she older, like in her 40s, I think. And it's this young firefighter dude, and he liked her. And she didn't really date nobody because she taking care of her mom. Like, that's her priority. Her mom got dementia and stuff like that. And they end up having a liking towards one another. And he wanted to take her on this hot air balloon date. First they was just talking on the phone, then they got to the point where they dating. So as they getting ready to go on the hot air balloon, the mom nurse called, said she had an episode, you need to come home. And it's already hard for them to date. So he finally got the date, and, she had to leave. So he was talking to his supervisor, and he was saying it's not fair to him, that, because he had a sex addiction problem, and dealing with her kind of fixed his problem, you know. But he was like, I deserve to be happy too. And he said, well, how does she make you feel? And he said, it made me feel happy. You know, she made me feel better. This, that. And he said, you know what? Everything comes with the cost. And that shit was the realest shit I ever heard. You know, we think about all these things we want, but we don't really truly think what it takes to achieve or to receive those things. Everything comes with a cost.
Yeah, everything.
So if you can't take a person's bad, don't take their good neither. That's how I look at life. That's why I always say I accept people for who they are, as they are. I'm gonna accept your good and bad because your good comes with a cost, and that's your bad. So if I can't tolerate the bad, I'm not gonna take the good neither.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where sometimes I think, okay, I can handle it. Like I can handle it, but then, yeah, no, you gotta be careful.
Mm-hmm. There's some bad shit that I am not willing to tolerate, so you can keep the good shit too. I'm straight.
Because there's always good and bad to people. It's just it depends on what and how much of it.
It was this when I was transporting, I had met this other dude, right? He was a son of one of the well-known physicians in the hospital. And me and him was cool. We got real cool. I liked him, you know. He was a smart ass to everybody because his dad was like one of the top physicians in the hospital. So he got away with a lot of shit. And he was like reckless. And I'm like, you know, that's cool. He's still cool. I seen the best of him. He a real cool guy. He got a lot of fucked up ways. He get high and drunk and want to drive. And he disrespect people. But the things that I was receiving just by being his friend, and like I said, a lot of those things he wasn't disrespectful to me or nothing like that. You know, he's still cool to this day. Me and him still cool. But I couldn't hang out with him no more because a lot of the stuff he was doing, it began to implicate me, just me being around him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm straight. Even though I get a lot of benefits of being cool with you, you know, you open different doors that I couldn't get in before I knew you. It ain't worth it though. You know, I'm not about to it's people now calling me because you didn't got high and want to drive, or you didn't got high and slapped a girl or something. Now they calling me to come get you. They calling me to come protect you. I'm straight, bro. That's too much stress. And every time I go, I'm sorry, man. I'm straight, bro. I'm tired of that. I can't do that no more. But at first, when it didn't really have no true effect on me, I was benefiting.
Yep, that's a good example. Perfect example.
I was benefiting. Well, it was cool until it wasn't cool no more. But you'll have some people. But you'll have some people. They'll ride or die with it, and then when they get put in a fucked up position, they blame the person. No, you knew what that came with. You was enjoying all the privileges. Now you got to deal with the consequences. And I wasn't willing to deal with it, but it's other people who do. I remember he got it was this other dude, you know, he was a janitor and he ended up coming up. He, you know, because of his relationship, they gave him opportunity. He became a patient care tech. So now he making more money. He got a better job. You know, his best friend is you know, this dude. But one day they called him. Well, they didn't call him. One day they went out and they was drinking and driving, and you know, he got unalive in the car accident. But the dude, the doctor kid, survived. But his buddy, you know, who didn't really party, only time he partied was when he was with him. He wasn't accustomed to that life, but he went too far. He indulged too much into it. Because when I used to hang out with him, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna have to drive, bro. I ain't drinking. I parked my car at his house and we'd take his car because he had a nice little Jag. Like, no, I'm straight. I ain't drinking. I ain't smoking. We good. I'll be the designated driver. But then you get tired of that because not only designating drivers, like you getting obliterated. And now I'm responsible to take you home, then make sure you get in the house, and then I gotta
Get
go
in the
home.
car.
Like,
Come on, let's go. It's time.
I gotta
No more
argue and
drinks.
fight with you. Yeah, man. Ain't nobody. I can't do it. I'm not babysitting you. but you get all the
Yeah.
privileges. I get to drive a nice car. You know, I'm getting in nicer restaurants. I'm getting in country clubs and shit. I'm on fucking boats. You know, I didn't have this shit before school. I couldn't do all this shit. Motherfuckers gonna take you to the UP and shit. You going in this damn cabin that look like a mansion and shit like that. Like,
Well,
a
and
lot
there's
of that
stuff
stuff.
that you grow out of too.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not the boats and the hose.
Boats and hoes. Boats and hoes. Man, I remember I went to his dad party. I thought I was the shit when I got invited to his dad party. I was there for probably about 10 minutes, man. I walked in there. I'm not a component. I don't I had a lot of drug addicts in my family, so I don't like being around like cocaine or crack or nothing like that. So when I see people doing coke, I just turn the other way. I'm good. I walked in there, it was females like naked running around and dudes doing coke off their breath. It looked like the damn Scarface movie. It did. I'm dead serious. It looked like some shit
You're
would
like,
be
what
in
did I walk
Scarface.
into?
Yeah, and I'm like, and these like doctors and shit, bro, lawyers, and I'm looking like, hell no.
Hey, once the
Look,
boat leaves the dock, you can't get off either.
He got invited to a
man,
Diddy party. Why he lying?
man, let me tell you this, man. It's like we in Detroit. Y'all heard of the Teamsters, right? It's like the mob, man. If you ain't ever experienced shit, when you experience it, it's either gonna do one or two things. It's either gonna draw you in, or it's gonna scare the living shit out of you. That shit scared the living shit out of me. Like seeing shit like that, like these people in these positions doing this shit without any care is any wild. That's the wild. I've never seen shit like that in the hood. I went to parties in the hood, people smoking weed. You might catch some people in the corner, you know, getting their thing on. You know what I'm saying? No, this is like I felt like I was at the Playboy Mansion or some shit. And I'm looking at these like, you know, I know you, right? Like y'all fucking nurses and PCTs. One lady was a fucking lawyer I seen on TV, and I'm looking like this shit crazy. Y'all running around here butt
You're like,
naked,
am I in
losing
a
your
dream?
goddamn mind. Yeah. Like, nah, this shit is I'm straight. I'm a little kid, but I'm from the backwoods, man. I ain't used to none of this shit.
What
They
do
was
they
making
say? You
moonshine.
are who you hang around with.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking like, no, this is wild. I'm good. Like, you wouldn't think like people of this caliber or status be doing shit like this, but yeah, they do. They have fun too. They got more money to have fun with though, so they can do crazier shit. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. You'd be surprised what your doctor or your surgeon or your teacher, your principal, your kid's school be doing with their off time. Motherfuckers be having sex dungeons in their basement and shit.
There was this like dentist couple that were like in a high rise. I don't know if it was like a hotel or what, but or maybe just like a high rise, like a penthouse suite or something. I don't know, but I think it was like I think she was a prostitute. But anyways, the prostitute ended up going over the balcony, and then they were like, they didn't serve time or anything, but they were questioning them, like, what happened here? Like, basically, whatever they were doing, they were trying to hide. It ended up coming out to the public. Now everybody knew.
I ain't gonna say everyone is like that. I'm gonna say a lot of them are like that. Like when you get money, man, your mind, I don't know, you're capable of doing different things that the average person can't do. I say it like that.
They were doing illicit things in that room, and whatever else they were doing, whatever else, and it just came to light. I don't think
Like
it ruined their practice, but it did cost them. Not their whole
like
practice, though.
this doctor wife basically told me they will pay me to bang her while he watched. I'm looking like, hell no, y'all wild, bro. Y'all wild as hell, man. Mm-mm. You will get excited from watching somebody do your way. Nah.
And then you think, like, how did they get that way? How did they get that way, and how is it like normal to them? Like, I just wonder how people get like that.
Because it's potential. You know, like this. Like, think about this, right? I'm assuming we all normal people, right? We do normal shit. But if we had an abundance amount of money where we were able to do everything we want, what is it left to do? You start being creative and shit, making shit up. If you can do everything you ever wanted to do and you did it and now it's done, then what you gonna do?
Mm.
Even now, think about
I'll say like word. I'm straight. I'm good. I don't want to do all that. I don't want
people
to be
get
that
bored.
rich.
Yeah, people get bored, man. And then like we got the problems that we got, they got different problems. So we ain't got time
And
to
then
think about this
maybe
shit.
the
And they
money
do.
and the power makes them think like they can get away with things too. Like they get away with something and then they get away with another thing and then another thing.
And that shit just start adding up. Like, think about this. Like, them dudes who be geeks and nerds in high school never really got no action from a female. Now they in their 30s, they got millions of dollars. So all that unscrupulous shit they used to think about when they was kids, now they can do it. Now they can pay. You know, they money opened different doors. All them girls who they thought was pretty, they wouldn't give them the time of day. Now he can pay them to do all this crazy shit. And that's what they do.
And they don't respect the women because of that.
Yeah. But shit, why would you respect something that don't respect yourself? If the woman take money to do that, then what would I respect her for? Like it was them IG models. I forgot who brought that to my attention. I had seen it, but they was getting flying out to Dubai for these dudes to take craps on them. Like who you
I'm
posted?
gonna act like I didn't hear that.
Yeah, but I'm saying like who you supposed to be mad at? The dude taking a crap on him or the IG model for accepting the trip to get dumped on?
Like literally
Yeah,
taking a crap on someone?
yeah.
What's wrong with people? This is what like
Man, I didn't believe it
what
until I
like
seen it.
Easy's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
People's into the weirdest stuff, yeah.
Man, you don't know half of the shit like you see on movies and shit. I done seen. Man, I remember I was sitting in this spot, and I was actually going over there to chill with my boy. He had a new game, and he just so happened to be in the spot, and this fiend came in, and she ain't had no money. And when I heard this, I thought it was a joke. Right? He was like, "Well, if you want to rock, you have to screw the dog." And actually, she went right to it, start screwing the dog. And I'm looking like, and they just watching, laughing. And I'm like, "Bro, what the fuck wrong with y'all? This shit weird. Nobody want to see this shit." So I ended up leaving, went to the store, came back. As I'm coming back, she walking out the house, and they laughing about it. And I'm like, "Bro, y'all fucked up." She was like, "Shit, she wanted to get high, and I wanted to be entertained." And he was like, "Shit, she cool with it." So I'm thinking like, damn, this ain't the first time this happened. Like y'all some sick motherfuckers.
Oh, there's a girl that just got arrested. She was posting her and her dog on I think IG, and then somebody offered to pay her to do some nasty stuff with her dog, and she did, and she posted it, and she just got arrested like this
Animal
last month.
cruelty like a motherfucker.
Yeah, there's some videos on YouTube about her. Like they show her body cam. She's like crying and.
Right. The thing, that's why I tell people I create standards. I ain't gonna do nothing for free. I ain't gonna do it with money. And that way I know I won't do some shit that I'll regret later. I had to create that because you get offered, like even working in the hospital, man, I got offered to do a whole bunch of crazy shit. Some of it wasn't really crazy, but it's like to me, that's selling your soul. That's what selling your soul is. And people sell their soul for a couple thousand.
She thought it was like nothing, like it's not hurting the dog type thing. Like, who is it hurting?
Like, what in the fuck sense does that make sense though?
It's just gross.
Man,
Not
I
right.
don't even like my dog kissing my.
Protect the dogs.
Like if my dog lick my face, I'd be like, okay, chill. If it lick my lips, I get mad as hell. I don't know, fucking dog licking my lips. That shit weird to me, man. And then they be doing some other shit, and people into that, man. People be all into that, you know, like I think it's crazy. Like they got categories in corn, like of SA. Like who get that right there? Is people clicking on that should get investigated. I
All
think
sorts of stuff. Yeah, they all should be.
like
Man,
that they can use the porn site for good to catch motherfuckers. Oh, you like this? Let me watch your ass because you probably out here doing some shit.
exactly.
You getting off on this? Either you got potential, you go because like how can you even watch that if you're not into it? How can you entertain that if you're not into it? Like that shit wild.
Yeah, there's one guy that he recently got arrested. He unalived his stepdaughter, but he was doing stuff to her. But one of his girlfriends was interviewed, and she said how he wanted her to basically, when they were intimate, like just like lay there, like play dead, like play like you're asleep, like don't move, just lay there, like okay, that's. And they found he had a bunch of stuff, like all sorts of stuff. He had, after they checked his computer, they downloaded all his Google images, everything. It's like, okay, that's a red flag. That's a red flag.
I used to wonder, like, when girls used to be like, choke me, I'd be like, I'm straight, bro. I'm just trying to enjoy this. I ain't trying to have no accidents happen. I'm straight. But I used to wonder, like, where
they get that from?
Yeah, where you get that shit from, bro?
I was gonna bring that up when Easy was talking because girls have told me that. Oh, you gotta get choked. You have to. I'm not getting choked. No, you gotta try it. It's the best. It's this. It's that. I'm like, no, I'm straight. I'm good. No, tell your man. Tell your man to do.
Motherfucker be into it and can't let go. Forget to let go. Your ass gone for real. Like, no, that's too much.
And that's just like that's just like basic stuff right now. That's like that's like basic.
Like pulling hair, I can understand. You don't pull it too hard. You know.
Pull hair is fine. I think pull hair is fine,
But things that can lead to unaliving, I'm straight, bro. I ain't trying to tie nobody up and none of that shit.
Oh, you gotta look up Shabizz. Her last name is Shabizz. You look up her case. It's gruesome. Yeah, her and her boyfriend were doing stuff in the basement, and she went way too far. But I think they were both doing like coke. I think they were both doing something, and yeah, he's gone, and she's in jail, and it was gruesome.
Damn. People plugging shit. I remember, man, this chick was like, well, can I do this to you? I'm like, hell no, I'm a grown ass man. Well, my ex-boyfriend used to like it, and I'm like, well, he was probably like, he hung around his boys a lot too, didn't he? Yeah, well, that's why. You was one of the fellas. Shit. Don't no dude want no, nah. No.
Oh shit, she wanted to turn you into Trick Daddy.
I'm the giver. Now, dudes, like, man, I don't know. It was some dude. I remember we was doing lingerie and cocktails, and it was some dude that came up there. Was like, yeah, I like when women lick my butthole. I'm like, bro, I don't know what the fuck wrong with you, bro. Nah, no.
Well, because they say men have a spot right there, right? Like
man, you have your prostate gland. You can stimulate the prostate gland, and you can have an ejaculation. I'm straight. I can have a regular one, bro. I don't need to go through all that extra shit. I'm good. All that extra shit, they be having gerbils and shit run up their butt. No, man. That shit, no, I'm good.
We're all vanilla on this panel. Nothing but vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, that plain Jane shit. I'm good. I will have biblical intercourse before I start doing all that shit.
Said biblical.
Yeah. Straight missionary. And
He
before
said
you start getting,
missionary. Nah, that's
before
too
you
Yeah,
far
when he
word.
said
That's too
biblical,
far.
I was thinking the other way. I was like, but you're still going towards the the ORN. Like, wait a minute,
Biblical
biblical.
proportions.
yeah, with all
Man,
that, I get in the white robes and all that before you start trying to touch my.
he said he
I
did. Let me
remember
take
this
notes.
man. This one girl was, doing her thing. Man, she went down too close. Man, I did not try to pop her in the head, but I did. I was trying to move her head, like, what the fuck? And for some reason, my fist balled and I kind of punched her in the head. Like, you got me fucked up, bro. I don't know where you going with that tongue, but you better bring that bitch back up north. I'm from north. I'm from the north. We don't go down south. What wrong with you?
Listen, I didn't know people did that until this one girl I know told me that. Oh, I do that to my boy. I do this to my boyfriend, or like, I'm like, what? Yeah, he wants me to do that to him. I'm like, I ain't tasting no butt.
But you
That is
need to,
gross.
if your man like that shit, ladies, you need to be worried. I don't care what nobody says.
Like, I don't even want to be your friend anymore, girl. Like, what?
Like, if your
Like, you
breath
ain't
ever
sharing my
stink, I know
soda.
why. Right?
You can't use my chapstick.
You can't hit my blunt. No. I got a friend, right? And he's with a transsexual, right? And I don't judge nobody. They cool. I go hang out with them or whatever. Well, I didn't really hang out with them. They called me. I was trying to help them buy a house. So I go over, to their spot for them to sign this paperwork, and they were smoking. And it was like, you want to hit this? I'm like, nah, I'm straight. And they was like, oh, why not? She rolled it. And I'm looking like, nah, I'm straight. I walk in the house, and you don't smell nothing but ass, right? Now you ask me if I want to put my lips on a blunt, and I don't smell nothing but ass. I'm straight. No offense. I love you, bro. We grew up together. I'm not judging you. I'm not drinking from no cups in your house. I'm not drinking from no bottles in here. I don't know what the fuck y'all be doing here. I just smell ass, bro. This shit smell like a public bathroom in here. I'm good. I don't want to hit you. I ain't hungry.
That's a hard one because everybody passes it. That's a hard one.
It ain't hard for me. I told him I only smoke shit I roll. Well, we ain't putting nothing in it. Yeah, you ain't putting nothing in it, but your lips been on it. I'm good. I smoke my own shit. I don't smoke with nobody. The only person to smoke with me is my wife. She ain't did that, and she ain't did that shit. I think my wife smoked with me twice. Second time, I almost had to take her to the hospital. She had a damn panic attack.
I feel like I gotta change the subject, but I can't think of anything. It's a full moon, though. I know that. It's a full moon. I think it's been a full moon like 3 or 4 days straight. I don't know.
That's where Gary at. He out there howling at the moon.
Gary sleeps.
Trying to get one of them southern mothers. That's what I'm gonna start calling the women, them southern mothers.
I need to find love for Gary.
I already found love. He just gotta, sweep her off her feet.
He's gotta work his magic.
Mm-hmm. He gotta go bust it down.
I don't know. This relationship stuff's hard. Like, I don't know. Just seeing the people online.
Because everybody
like,
fucked
is that
up.
real life? Like, is that real life?
Everybody fucked up from life. That's why. I'm not trying to be funny, but I see why older people go fuck with younger people. Even women doing it now. Women go fuck with younger men. You know why? And they ain't been exposed to a lot of bullshit, and they ain't all fucked up and corrupted.
I guess. I don't know.
He talking about cougars, them crib snatchers.
Well, why is it wrong for them to do it, but not men?
Oh, it's wrong for both of them.
Yeah,
just wrong
the
for
younger
one.
guys. You want to be with older ladies.
I used to think that until this one guy said something, and I thought about it, and I said, that fucking makes sense. He said, because I was literally telling them, like, bro, you with that young woman, you just there because you can manipulate her. He said, it's not even about manipulation, young blood. He said, you know how hard it is dealing with people who are broken, who life is swallowed and spit back up. He said, it's difficult. You got to deal with their problems and your problem. He said, young women ain't been through that bullshit yet. So I can treat her good, give her a good life, and she gonna be happy. You know? And he's like, she gonna be happy.
Writers, were you talking about this the other day? Somebody was about like baggage. Was that you on your channel? It was about like who has more baggage. Oh no, I think it was the iTalk. It was the iTalk. It was Joe and RP and somebody else. They were talking about baggage, like
I think
who
women,
has more, older or younger.
oh, definitely older. And I would be as bold to say women hold on to things longer than men do.
RP was arguing that it goes both ways. Like there's young people that
No.
have baggage too.
Yeah, I can say that, but just if you take someone who's 20 compared to someone who's 40, that's 20 years of experience. 20 more years they got to going through shit.
But it could
So,
be 20 years of learning.
but what did you learn?
I mean, it could be that they learned what not to do, or like they got past their baggage or past their problems that they had.
When I hear and this is me stereotyping, but normally when I hear older women who looking for relationships, a lot of times you hear more of expectations from the other person than to expect what you want from them. When you hear younger people, you hear more of, they tell you more what they're willing to do.
Somebody said either on panel or in the chat said something like that, like, yeah, like that. Yeah, like that if they're older and they don't have like they're not married, that like something's wrong. They've got some sort of baggage, something's wrong. And then I asked if kids are baggage. And I think pretty much everybody on panel said no, kids are not baggage.
That's a lie.
And I'm like thinking, oh, okay, I've never heard nobody say that part,
No,
but okay.
that's a lie. Kids are definitely baggage because not only do you have to deal with the kids, but you have to deal with the parent. You know, if the parent is still in that kid's life, now you got to deal with that too.
Well, not
With the
only
kid.
that, like the mom, like both parents. Because
Yeah,
if you
that's
get
what
with
I'm
someone with
saying.
kids, it's both like the parent that you got with, you got to deal with them and how they feel about your responsibility, or you can't tell their kids what to do. Like,
And see, this is the problem I had with dating people with kids. It was, I'm expected to do this, but I'm expected not to do that. Like you want me to help support the kid. You want me to spend time with the kid, but then I can't tell the kid nothing. I can't give the kid no structure. Not even a discipline part, but structure. Don't tell my kid what to do. I'm telling them to do the homework. What the fuck is wrong with that? I shouldn't be arguing with a kid about doing homework.
because okay, so recently I've heard this argument about if you're a step parent, like you don't have the right to discipline. You don't have the right. You're not like a real parent.
So
But I
why
think it's
even do
people that
that?
are like these people are biased because it has to do with the missing kid. The kid is missing. It's been a year now he's been missing, and the mom had gotten remarried when the kid was like I think around 8. The kid went missing at 15. Of course that stepfather plays a father role. Like they're trying to say, oh, he's got no business, he's got no say so.
So,
Oh,
but you
Rachel
see what
dropped.
I'm saying? But
But
even
it's
in that
because they're
role,
mad at him because yeah.
my shorty wants my attention. Okay, Rach, I see that, sir. That's cool. But I mean, even that role, how am I gonna be a step parent? Like, but you want all the benefits, but I get none of the rewards.
Yeah, you're in the household, you're contributing to paying the bills. Yeah,
You want me to step up when they crying to comfort them. You want me to step up when they need something to supply it. But then when it has to do with structure or giving guidance or discipline, then that's not my role. Okay, so why am I doing all the other shit then that a parent would do? I can't half-ass do it. Either I'm gonna be a parent or not. That's how I got to once I got to that point, then I'm like, I'm straight. Like when we had that understanding, like I would tell girls like we'd be having fun dating and then they want to get serious. Like, well, look, I'm willing to be a parent, but I'm gonna have to be a parent. If I don't have this responsibilities and I'm not taking on the responsibilities and can't have the duties.
It's crazy because there's people saying like the kid's missing, that he's only like a stepfather or whatever. Like he shouldn't miss the kid or feel bad or like care, because and then he shouldn't have disciplined him because, well, there was some CPS calls, but he says he spanked the kid. But it's legal to spank a kid like on the butt. It's legal, right? So to turn off their phone, like turn off their cell phone or like control the cell phone, well, I mean, that's legal.
Mm-hmm. But then when the kid do something crazy and they find out there's a stepfather in the life, why you ain't disciplining them? Why you ain't giving the kid structure? And then they go to that. So I mean, I don't know.
Obviously, if it turns out to be like he has some responsibility and the kid missing, obviously, okay, they're suspecting that him and the mom have something to do with it, and then the biological father lives nearby and had like partial half custody or whatever. But I don't know, I just think it's bias, because if it was a different scenario, I feel like those same people would be saying, of course the stepfather should be, in the child's life and care and be a parent role. But what did we say the other day? We make excuses for people, or it's our bias, right? Our bias will make us either go against someone or make excuses for them.
Make excuses for them. Well, this is predicated upon how we feel, is how we perceive things. And if we like people, we'll make excuses. If we don't, then we'll make justifications of our, words or our actions. That's just how this world's set up. And just seeing that, it just helped me navigate a little better. That's why I say there's no point of judging. If you judge it, you ain't gonna be able to see the reality of situation. Like that, I want to talk about that stabbing too. But I know it's people.
Oh, that's the one you were gonna. Yeah, I thought that's the one you were gonna bring up.
But even that, people will feel this way or feel that way. When I just want to look at the situation and learn from the mistakes. It's unfortunate, anytime a life is lost, especially a child, it's unfortunate. I don't.
There's witnesses, there's video, but everyone's already jumping into conclusions.
And I just just even the main thing that I wanted to extract from that is what I can teach my son. Right. And what I teach my son is don't go putting your hands on people. Don't do it, because you don't know how a person will react or respond. If you, and I say it all the time, just because you slap me, don't think I'm gonna slap you back. I'm probably gonna cut you. 9 times out of 10, if you slap me, I'm probably gonna cut your ass. And you can't be mad because it's cause and effect. Because you slapped me, you got cut. That's just how it is.
But you think it's justified?
Justified for what?
Like a slap?
It doesn't, for me, it doesn't matter if it's justified or not. The reality is, if I didn't get slapped, that person wouldn't have got cut. That's just reality. Then we can sit here and try to weigh things out. I mean, if I say it's not justified for somebody to slap somebody, for someone to cut somebody because they got slapped, you know what I'm also doing? I'm also justifying a person slapping someone. So that's why I say cause and effect. What caused the slap? What caused the cut? The slap. So what can we learn? Well, if this person didn't slap this person, they wouldn't have got cut. So let's not put our hands on people. unless we defending ourselves. That's what I'm teaching my kids. Don't put your hands. I
But
don't care
even
how
then,
you get at somebody, how mad you get at somebody. Don't put your hands on them unless you have to defend yourself. And that's
right, but
what
even defending yourself can get you in jail.
I know, but it's more likely you will get off on a defending yourself than you would be hitting someone because you're upset or mad. You know, like I'm not justifying that boy stabbing that boy in the heart. I'm definitely not justifying. But what I'm telling you, that shit would have never happened if he ain't put his hands on him. That's what I am saying. That wouldn't
There's a
never.
yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like it was yeah, the trigger or an effect or yeah.
Cause and effect. And it's so much to that story, you know, that people. This question is not being asked. I was on Mouthpiece the other day, and you know, like listening, like reading the police report. Like I read it twice, not from the internet, but I actually downloaded it. But I'm reading that, and a lot of what that boy, like the witnesses said, like the second cop got I think she had 2 witness statements. And I'm like, a lot of what that boy's saying, I can tell that they're leaving parts of the story out because of response. Like, I'm not going to tell somebody to punch me and see what happened unless they threaten to punch me. Like, no, normally you don't look at somebody and say, punch me and see what happened. No, usually that comes as a response of someone saying, I'm going to punch you. And then, like the first one, you might can get away with it when he said, "Put your hands on me and see what happened." But it was already established that they knocked the boy's phone out of his hand and pushed him. So even then, that was more of a response. They was trying to say the boy was antagonizing the other boy, and from the way y'all told the story, it does sound like he was antagonizing him. You telling somebody to touch me and see what happened, but that. Listening to the sentence structure, that's not. I watch what come out. I guarantee. One that boy said, "I'll punch you," and he was like, "Well, punch me and see what happened." I bet you that's how the dialogue went.
I'm not making any judgment until
And that's why
everything comes out.
Until everything comes out. But I would. I mean, the only thing that I'm telling people is like looking at that, you can learn, and that way you can teach your kids something from this incident versus saying if this person was right or if that person was right. Is an unfortunate situation where a young man lost his life. That's the reality. Someone lost their life, and possibly another person will lose their freedom. So instead of saying this person right or this, why don't we learn so we can prevent our children from going through the same?
Yeah, how can it be prevented?
Yeah, how can that be prevented? Because we know, like they were saying, well, why would he be carrying a knife, right? Bro, I carry a knife everywhere I go.
Lots of people do. Yeah, some people get knives for gifts, like on their 15th birthday or whatever.
Mouthpiece, what up, brother? I was just talking about you, bro. Just talking about you. And that's what I was saying too. Like on his panel, I was saying like they was like, well, why would he bring a knife to the track meet? And I'm like, it was in his book bag. If that boy had intent to do something with that knife, if that was his original intent to do something, it would have been in his pocket. It wouldn't have been in the fucking book bag.
Well, and lots of people carry in their pocket because I mean, we live in a world where you know you don't know. You might have to defend yourself.
Salute, y'all.
What's up,
Big
Mouthpiece?
What up, though, bro?
Yeah, salute, bro. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, bro, because I was just on Big Skull panel tonight too, man, talking about the same thing. You had a dude from Chicago pull up. Oh no, he deserves to go to jail. He committed murder, and he's a murderer, and he has always got a pocket knife on him. And who carries the pocket knife? It was premeditated because he had the pocket knife on him. Like, bro, come on, bro. It was not fucking premeditated, bro. That don't mean he intently brought the knife to. Yeah, I'm gonna cut somebody today. Yeah, no, he was standing over there by himself, chilling, and they approached him. Plain and simple. Y'all keep trying to override that fact, bro. I don't like that, bro. That shit pisses me off, bro.
It's so much to that story. Like I was listening to the brother story again. I'm like, that don't look good, man. You done switched up. Because first you said you know, first you said the dude caused the ruckus, and then y'all noticed it. Then you said he was directly talking to you in the other story. He was directly talking to you.
Talking to you.
You know, and it's like, come on now, man, you inconsistent. I just want the truth to come out so we can extract the lesson and teach the youth because
It's coming. It's coming, bro. It's coming, bro. It's coming quicker than y'all know.
There's
It's
plenty
been
of people that were videoing.
Yep, plenty of people, and it's been cited. Yeah, the tape has leaked. One of the tapes have already leaked. It's footage that's out right now that people have been seeing on TikTok, but I haven't seen it yet. But from what I'm hearing, from what my people say they seeing, they said that dude was approached, and they smacked the phone out of his hand. They smacked the phone out of Carmelo's hand, and they was throwing blows. So he had to defend
And even
himself.
then,
He had to.
like with video, if you think about it, usually someone doesn't start videoing until something gets started. So there might be that first initial, like it might be missing from videos. Unless there's like surveillance cameras.
It's gonna be a before and after watch. It's gonna be a before and after effect. We're gonna see them chilling and the people waiting to do their thing because you know, like same thing with the pocket knives. A lot of kids nowadays have pocket knives, brass knuckles, all type of stuff. Even when I was coming up and I went to high school, you know what I'm saying? I carried a brass knuckle or two, you know what I'm saying, and a couple knives, you know what I'm saying? Because where I went to school,
I'm a girl
bro, they
and
wasn't
I
no telling who's
carried
gonna
that.
make it home.
Bro, I had that thing.
Okay, hey, there we go. Some of my homies had
I
that
ain't gonna
thing
hold
too.
you up, bro.
Some of my boys,
I had
hey,
that thing, bro.
let's go.
I was trying to make it to the crib, bro. I was trying to get educated and make it back to the crib, bro. That's all I was trying to do. So, I mean, when people say that, it just shows it. And like I said, like when you see like white people carrying a gun and shit, you can have a white person walk down the street with a rifle. Wouldn't nobody feel threatened, bro? If I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. If I see my neighbor walking outside with his sidearm or a rifle on his back, I'd be like, oh, he about to go to the gun range. I'd be making some excuse in my head why he got that shit. Let me see a black person. I'm gonna be like, hold the fuck up. What y'all doing, bro? Let me go get my shit too. That's how I'm gonna think, but that's conditioned, bro. That's how the society is conditioned. If a black person has a weapon, it's a weapon. If a white person have it, it's a tool.
In some states, it's legal to carry like a big old knife as long as it's like open, like it's visible. You can carry a big old, yeah.
And people will tell you, people who open carry, they will tell you, I do this to deter people from trying shit.
Exactly.
I had to look it up because I saw someone carrying a big old at the grocery store. He had a big old knife, and I was like, "Is that legal?" So I had to look it up. I was like,
some
"Is that
places,
legal?"
some places it is definitely legal because you know, just like they got the open carry states. Some places you don't even have to have a permit to have a gun.
Yeah, it was legal, and I was like, "Okay." I just kind of like you don't normally see people like that. It was a black older man that had it right on his hip.
Do you know, and I'm not over exaggerating. I walked into a Home Depot. I walked into a Home Depot in the suburbs with a fucking utility knife on my side. And do you know one of the people said, "Can you please put that up or put it back in your car?" And I'm like, "What?" "Oh, that knife is a weapon." I'm like, "I do fucking drywall. What the fuck is you talking about?" Like it's on my fucking utility belt, bro. I'm like, I walked out that store. I said, I drive a couple miles into another one. I ain't spending my money here. I'm good.
Bro, let me expound on that too real quick, bro. That man, bro, come on now, y'all. This is my thing right here. See, this is the thing. I don't know if y'all remember, but Cat Williams did a video, right? It was one of his most hated comedian specials that he ever did. He had that Tekashi 6ix9ine type hair, right? And he going in on the point of the big fear of the big stigmatism of the big payback. Okay, they worried out their boots. They're man, they tripping. That's why it's intimidating when they see a black man hold a knife or hold anything. Or you know what I'm saying? I get it. I hope everybody understand that because I've been paying attention and I peeped that out a long time ago because that's where we getting at. It's a big ass fear and the stigma that make them feel like we're going to be out for blood and revenge because they know the bogusness that our people have faced throughout all our giving and helping and showing how to survive, and you know what I'm saying, building the country where our bare blood, sweat, and tears is being turned into a weapon. It's being weaponized because they know it's long overdue for us to get what we once had anyway. You see what I'm saying?
And wasn't you just asking about that in South Africa, the apartheid, what's happening in South Africa, Commander? When they flipped the
Yeah.
script?
Yeah. I was tripping out. I was tripping out. Them white people look real poor. Real poor. They got teeth missing. They're like so skinny, like they look malnourished.
Yeah.
I was like, I never seen this before.
Yeah, they flipped the script in South Africa. It's the white people oppressing the black people down in South Africa now.
Yeah, the black guys going around giving them money, giving them groceries. You know, I was tripping out. I was like, where is this at? I've never seen this.
Hell no.
But I've never seen like no people look like that. Honestly, like
Yeah.
the way
So
they look
helping them.
sickly.
So y'all saying that they helping them people at the same time, right? And they all still fucked up. They getting help from the Africans, the natives in the community, and they still look bad. They're not like they're taking care of themselves, eating right, none of that shit.
I don't know. It's just with this one guy. He's got a channel where he does shorts, and he's just like videotapes himself helping them.
So what happened was they stripped the power from the white farmers and gave it back to the black farmers. So it kind of put the white farmers in a fucked up position. So you got some black people taking advantage of that shit and putting knees on necks. And then you got some black people just, being black and go help people out and shit.
Look, where I live, like I've always said this, like the people that are panhandling, it's always white people. I don't see Mexicans, I don't see black people. It's very rare. Mostly it's white people. I mean, I'm not saying that means anything, but but I had never seen people
No, it's
like
true.
that.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Have you ever been to Nashville, Tennessee, by the way?
No.
Yeah. I've been in Nashville. We like Nashville.
Oh, so okay, so you know about where I'm gonna go, right? I'm gonna just say this: I-24, bro. That damn I-24, bro. Ooh. Soon as you get out the exit, they right there. 2 signs on deck. Bro got drinks, you know what I'm saying, put up. They got shit. They work them damn freeway exits like goddamn 9 to 5, man. They got shifts and everything. People leaving chairs and shit for them to stop. That shit crazy. That shit is crazy.
Bro, it was an article, like it's a prominent neighborhood in Detroit, like right on the outside of Detroit called Grosse Pointe, right? And it's like a street separates Detroit from Grosse Pointe. Like you literally go from the hood to like the suburbs just by crossing the street. So there's a freeway that's on the Detroit side, and it's these 2 white brothers for years. I'm talking about, I don't know how much money I gave them. I'm not gonna over exaggerate, probably less than 100 over the years. Dollar here,
Yeah.
But it was a news article that came out that these motherfuckers was rich, and when their parents died, they didn't want to work, so they just go panhandle. But they rich. They live in a fucking mansion, bro.
Oh hell no.
That shit was fucking crazy.
Greed. See, that's greed, bro. That's just pure greed right there.
And check this, because the freeway, like if you come from out in the burbs, because one way is the suburbs, the other way is downtown, right? So if you come from out in the burbs and you work at this hospital, you go past these people. So everybody in the hospital know them. So for like holidays, we used to do shit like they'd collect donations and shit, and somebody would take them either money, clothes, gift cards, shit like that. We did this shit for years, and then you come find out these motherfuckers rich, bro. That shit crazy.
Man, you think you helping the community by giving them your last few little dollars, you know what I'm saying? Knowing you got to pay this bill, but you throwing them their bread, and you like feeling good about yourself, and you telling yourself, okay, hey, my deed is done. You know what I'm saying? The Most High know where you stand at. And the whole time, these people rich as hell.
Yeah,
they need to be giving you some money. Shit, they need to be actually giving you the money back. Goddamn it, with interest. Right. That's crazy.
You paying down payments on their Rolls Royce and shit.
Yeah.
Bro, people are fucking weird, bro. We used to talk about manipulation. That's another form of it, bro.
That's another form of manipulation, man. It is purest form right there.
It's called
Go
fraud.
put on some dirty ass clothes.
Scamming.
Right. Yup. Scamming, yup. Go put on some dirty ass clothes, some fucked up ass shoes. Don't comb your hair. Make sure that shit fucked up. You look tired. Put that sad face on. They probably be looking in the mirror all day.
Oh, the
Trying to
worst
figure what
ones
fake they
are
gonna
the ones
use.
that have what they say they come from, not Russia. What is it? Is it Russia? But they have their kids out there with them. Have you seen
Oh
those
yeah.
people? They're like
Oh yeah,
gypsies.
no, it ain't Russian. You
Look,
talking about yeah, exactly. There we go. You talking about the
do,
Egyptian
what
folks.
what
Yeah.
what is that? What is that name? Balenciaga. Do you know how I've never knew what that was, right? Until one day I was me and my wife pulled up and this man asked like if we got any change. We was pulling up to it's like a strip mall. And when you first pull in there, you know, it's like the lanes and shit. He's standing right there. He was like, "You got any change?" And I said, and I was my daughter was about to be born. We was going to Babies R Us. I said, when I come out of here, I throw you something, right?
Yeah.
And so we go out of there. I had like $5 in the change. And on the way out, I told my wife not to pull straight out because it's cars, but I just park on the side and I'll walk over to him. So as I'm walking over to him, I gave him the $5 and he was like, "God bless you." And this dude yelled from the car, like, "You a dumbass. This motherfucker got Balenciagas on and you giving him money? Them shoes worth more than what you got on and your car." I'm like, "What?"
Damn.
I'm like, "What the fuck is Balenciaga?" I looked at it, I didn't know what that shit was.
Yeah,
Man, I
man. You
went
mean
back, I
look,
gave him
you mean Balenciaga. Balenciaga.
Man, I walked back in the car, bro, and I looked up and looked like the cheapest shoe I seen was like $1,200, $1,300.
Yeah.
I'm looking like, hey, your ass out here panhandling in these?
That's crazy.
Sometimes though, I think though, like they get clothes gifted to them and stuff. So then I try not to judge like that because I'm like maybe they got like free clothing, you know,
Not
like
if
that's
that
why they
shit
got
clean.
some nicer stuff on.
And they ain't that
But you could
smart to
sell
be
those pants.
panhandling and that shit, right? You ain't that smart panhandling and some rich shit.
He probably didn't even know what they were.
No, he knew what they was because his
No, I
ass
think
was
I was just gonna say that
clean
too.
as
I
hell.
doubt, yeah.
They wasn't dirty. Them bitches was clean as
Oh, they
hell.
was like new, huh? They look like you just pulled the bitches off the back. Oh,
He's playing in people's faces.
right. He probably be doing a prank, low key type shit.
Well, he got me because I didn't know what the fuck it was. So I mean, shit, I
Yeah.
don't know what all that name brand shit is.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. In Tennessee, it was this woman that was at this Walmart, right? I was, with my girl at the time, you know what I'm saying, and we on our way out the place, right? So I noticed it's this woman in the parking lot. She in the parking lot, in the middle of the parking lot, right? She don't got no legs. She on a wheelchair, right? And she out there begging, you know what I'm saying? So immediately, the noble thing, of course, y'all know what we do when we see somebody out there like that. Come on now, she don't got no legs, y'all, on a wheelchair. I immediately approach her. I say, "Okay, I'm gonna go in here. I gotta grab what I gotta grab, but stay right here because I'm gonna walk right back to you and bring you a couple dollars." She said, "Okay, cool." You know what I'm saying? My girl, she looked at it. She's like, "Oh man, that's what's up. That's what's up." So we walk back in, right? And go get our stuff, come back out. I make it back out there. On the way toward her, I noticed just a piece of paper down on the ground, right? It's like a check stub. You know what I'm saying? Right? Y'all already know. Y'all already know. You already know. The check stub, it's fresh, and I ain't gonna lie. You can tell I looked at the date. The date was like what, probably like a week ago. You get what I'm saying? So then I go up on her, right, and I go to hand her the money. I'm trying to look at it, but then I look the way I stared at it. Don't get me wrong. I'm walking past. I look at it as I approach it, and then I keep looking at it, and I look at the dates and shit, and then I immediately go to old girl after I look at that, but I don't pay it no mind. I'm like, damn, that's a kind of coincidence, right? I ain't asked her name or nothing, but I just looked and saw all that shit, right? So I get up close to her and I give her the money. I go to hand her the money, right? And I look and she had like a rag over her arm. She was covering it up at first, but then it came down and I started seeing tracks and shit on her arm, fam. So immediately, you already know what, yeah, exactly. I already felt like a dumbass because I already handed her the money already, right? I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna give her the money. Then the old girl was like, "Yo, that was very nice of you to do that. You helped that young lady, man. You ain't," and she ain't even see the receipt or the check stub on the ground, and she ain't noticed the tracks on her arm either because she ain't really ever seen no fiend or no junkie before. And sure enough, family, this woman is a damn junkie. Out there spun her money up on getting high. You know what I'm saying? out there digging and ravaging through her car, fucked around and dropped some check stubs and shit. Like dropped the check stub type shit. I said, oh hell no. I just walked it off, man, count my loss, you know what I'm saying? At the time I was working a decent job. So the money that I gave her, it didn't hurt like it did. But then my conscience started fucking with me after a while. So I was like, damn, when I saw them tracks too damn late, fam. That fucked me up.
Wait, did she have legs or no? Like she was in a
No,
wheelchair?
she didn't have no, she was in a wheelchair. She was begging and she was crying and shit. You know what I'm saying? You could tell, she was distraught because she was out there begging and she was riding through the parking lot of a Walmart. But she was on her wheelchair and she had a truck parked there next to her, and somebody was on the opposite end. I ain't really pay attention to all of that just yet because I had already hurried up and tried to run in there to help old girl. I had already told her I'm gonna come out and take care of you. But then when I look back and as I coming back out with my girl, I noticed that check stub, and then I get up close to her, and she had on a jacket. It was covering her arm, but the jacket came down, I guess, and you could see the tracks on her arm because she had her sleeves covered. You couldn't really see the tracks at first. But then when I got close to her, I saw her arm. When she leaned over to grab the money from me, I saw the tracks. I was like, oh shit. Yeah. So
I saw a documentary on Kensington. They inject that stuff called K, and a lot of them will lose their legs. They're in wheelchairs because it gets so bad that K stuff makes them lose circulation, so they end up losing arms, legs. It's really bad. I don't know if that's what happened to her, but
when they administer that as an anesthetic, they have to have you on oxygen to keep the blood flow.
But they're so hooked on it. They can't get
I
off
don't
of
even
it.
see why that shit is a paralyzing. It's not even it don't even really make it hurt. It's
they
like
really
a
don't,
paralyzing.
man. You to feel that stuck feeling, I guess. That's people fall in love with
that shit crazy.
That shit crazy. So that's what? It seems like it's a lot of dopamine though, right?
Well, if you the case you're talking about is, we
they're zombies.
We used to use it in the hospital. Well, I used to work as an anesthesia assistant, so a lot of drugs, especially pharmaceutical drugs, I know a lot about because that's what we administer. But that K is a tranquilizer, but they use
it's horse tranquilizer.
Yeah, and they a lot of times they use that in surgeries where they want the patient woke but not being able to move. So a lot of neurosurgeries, they use it, or they give people a little bit just to relax them. They give them a little bit, a half a cc, 0.5, and it'll just get you relaxed, and then it's diluted through an IV. So it's not like how they use it on the street. It's going right into the vein. When you use it on the street, that shit do something else. It's like
shit.
So
it's another world.
okay, it's those people mouthpiece, the videos where you see the people they're standing up but all the way bent over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they be
you know what I'm saying?
they be stuck, they stiff, they look like they
Yeah.
pixelated, but they actually really there standing in that position, stuck like that, nodding off, standing up, nodding off like zombies. I know exactly what you're talking about, man. I've been seeing too many of them damn videos. That shit hurt. You be starting feeling sad. You can't stare at them too long because you start feeling bad for them folks, man. Damn. But then you snap out of it and you think, and you they willingly choose to keep doing that shit because they like the high. That's crazy.
Word, do you think?
My bad,
sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Do you think
no,
does
you can-
Narcan fix that or no?
Okay. It can. Narcan is really for opioids.
Yeah, that's for the pills and shit.
They have, what is it called? It starts with an F. It's another reversal for paralyzing agents, but it's not Narcan. It's not Narcan. It can have an effect on it. What Narcan do is flush your system, so it can. But if that stuff, when I say it paralyzes you, the potency is different too because it comes in a liquid form. So what a lot of people do is they dry it up that make the consistency of the drug more potent. So when you do that, that shit can stop your heart. It's a paralyzing agent. If you do too much of it, it start paralyzing organs. is like when you're using paralyzed,
Touches
it
y'all
first get into the muscle. Yeah. It
Yeah.
first get into the muscle, meaning the skeleton structure, and then the next place to do is it goes into the organs because the organs is a muscle too.
Exactly.
But the way the blood flows through your body, it goes through muscle tissues and then it flows to the organs. So if it's still potent enough, that's why they use the IV drip. But if it's potent enough, it'll bypass. It won't bypass, but it's so potent that it'll hit the muscles and the organs simultaneously. That's why it's so dangerous to use it as a street drug. All them drugs, like even that fentanyl.
Hell yeah.
Like people usually when they give that, people usually either hooked on oxygen or intubated, meaning they got a breathing apparatus breathing for them.
Yeah.
When they do it in the hospital, bro. And like I said, it's a liquid form. Anytime you turn a liquid into a solid, it becomes more potent. So it being a liquid form is also being diluted by being pushed through an IV. But when you dry that shit up and you know, whatever way they do it, especially like what people don't understand, like the most potent way to get medication in your system is to inhale it as an inhalant. Because when you do that, it goes straight to the brain. When you put it in the IV, it goes through the blood, it goes through the circulator path. So now check this out. I'm just giving y'all some science real quick, right?
All right, that brother cooking. Okay, let's go.
So when it goes to the IV, it's going through your circulatory system. I mean, going through your blood. So your blood carries it to different organs. But as an inhalant, what it happens, it goes straight to the brain, right? When you take it as an IV, it takes a while to get there, but when you inhale it, it goes right there. Another way to get it into your system that you see people do is putting it in their bumhole.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That's the most, that's the most absorbed. They call them suppositories, like in the hospital, they give you a suppository.
Right.
That's the quickest way besides the inhalant, which is one, and then the IV would be two, and then the bumhole would be three.
But why? Is it the intestinal? Or?
Because that's where
Power God, salute family.
Bronze, what up though, fam? Appreciate you, brother. So
what's up, Bronze?
that's where all your nutrients and vitamins and stuff actually get broke down at. Is in your
That's right.
Bumhole.
Yeah.
That's where all the vitamins and nutrients get absorbed.
Hey, you killed
It's
me
in
with
your
the bumhole, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say nothing too crazy. You know, I need TB for my bunhole. Yeah, that's where I got it from, bro. Yeah, I'm a product.
Yeah, that was shit. Hey, that's
product of the
classic.
90s.
Listen, that is not living. Those people do not want to live because that's not even fun. That's not even like recreational.
Come on now.
But the reason that the inhalant aspect is more potent is because that's exactly where the extra chemicals that actually are catalysts to the drugs derive, the serotonin and dopamine. That's where it releases from. That's it has to get. They call them catalysts. So how your body knows to release different things is because of catalysts. Like, a catalyst is like a neural, I don't want to say a neurotransmitter, but I'm just trying to simplify it. A catalyst is something that tells your body to do certain things. So as an inhalant, is like when you inhale stuff, like when they do cocaine, they get that instant high, is because it's releasing also dopamine, not just what you took, but now your body is releasing chemicals to mix with this drug. That's why people get those highs like that. It's your body naturally produces components that can get you high. That's why people get high running. Like people can run and get a euphoria. People can meditate and get a euphoria because your body releases serotonin and dopamine. Those two components are catalysts to whatever drug you take. The reason the drug affects you the way it does is because of the dopamine and serotonin you release.
Yeah, it feels good when you work out, when you run,
That's why, like, people, when they say they build up tolerances, what's happening is their body has this substance in it so much it becomes used to it, so it doesn't release the serotonin and dopamine. That's what building the tolerance is, and those are catalysts to take the drug to the rest of your body. So if your body is not releasing that serotonin and dopamine at a high rate, you're not gonna get high. That's why people say, "Oh, I've been smoking for so long, I don't get high no more," because your body ain't releasing them chemicals. Even though you're smoking, your tolerance is so high, your body ain't releasing the chemical. So you
I
got to
think
get higher.
if America were to allow, what is it called, assisted unaliving, I think it would be like really high of people that don't want to live. They allow it in Switzerland, and I think is it Denmark? I don't know, but I read an article where it said that from 2021, it's went up from it's went up more than double. I think they said 5% of deaths in that country is from assisted unaliving, and from 2021, it's gone up more than twice. I think it's like 12%. It went from 5 to 12%, like quick. And then it used to be like where people were like really sick, like they had like illnesses that were really sick, and they would get approved. And now they're approving people with like depression. Like they're,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Mm.
But how do you guys feel about that?
I don't agree with it.
No. Like if somebody doesn't want to live anymore and they just want
Why they need
their
assistance?
body.
Do it yourself. Shit. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just saying, like, why would you
Me
even
neither.
tell
I ain't
anybody
gonna
else
lie
to
neither.
do
I'm gonna
it?
keep it all the way 100. If you feel like you don't want to exist in this plane no more, then by all means, do what you feel necessary to yourself. Don't involve nobody else. Don't go shoot up no building. Don't go try to commit a suicide bombing. Don't do none of that dumb shit. Go ahead. For real.
Yeah, hey, do yourself, bro. I don't got no beef with that, but having somebody assist you in that shit is selfish, bro. To me, that shit is like,
Yeah.
that shit is fucked up. You asking somebody to assist you, well, let's go do it yourself. Find a high building and fly.
And it's me. And to me in a way that's cowardly too. I ain't gonna lie, in a way that's cowardly too, bro. In a way, bro. Because why would you want to,
Yeah.
like, prime example? You know you done fucked up with this dumb shit. Why you want to just take accountability for it? You know what I mean? Like, bro, quit being punk, bro. Like, damn, this very least time, man up and take yourself out, bro. Don't do.
That football player did.
Even though you shouldn't be at that level. Thank you. Look, RP Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah. No, the young boy, he just did that.
No, my bad. Not him. My bad. Yeah,
The young boy who from LSU stuff because he was supposed to be a first round draft pick in the draft. They were projecting him until he did that hit and run. And now he realized not only is he not going to play in the NFL, but he might be going to jail. They found him unalive.
Yep.
That's sad.
Man.
I hate that life is lost, but consequences and repercussions because our actions. Like I said, I got away with a lot of stupid shit that I realize now that was stupid. You know what I'm saying? Speeding, drinking, and driving, just doing some unholy shit, bro. And now I realize the error of my ways, and I don't know. It has to be divine prophecy that I didn't get in trouble, or put myself in a position where I hurt somebody.
Well, some people will say like that's weak, right? Like tapping out of life that's like weak. But then I think, man, they gotta have some balls to do that, though.
Exactly. Thank you. Because in a way it is, at the same time, in a way it is though. That's a cop out. You get what I'm saying? You don't want to just be copping out on life. Like, damn, fam, it ain't that hard. You understand what I'm saying? But if you feel like you at a point where you don't want to try no more and you giving up because you know you completely giving up, that's where it stems from. I think that's one of the root causes. They give up. They don't want to appreciate life no more. They hate life. They get mad at living. They don't want to struggle. They don't want to, thrive, as they say. They don't want to put that work in, and then the only way out is that. You know what I'm saying? I see the last resort, effect. But as further as you trying to, like bro just said, trying to take somebody else with you or take innocent people that don't have nothing to do with what's going on, Hell no. Now you just being a whole bitch now. You know what I'm saying?
And I believe I shared this before, but I tried twice in my lifetime to unalive me. The first time I was a kid and I was ignorant, and I ain't gonna really say I tried to unalive myself, but my auntie had this crazy ass rock wall that used to chew through fences. And I decided I didn't want to live no more. So you know what I did? I went in the backyard and started hitting the dog, and the dog looked at me like, "Get your crazy ass off." Right?
Oh,
But my auntie, the dog didn't do nothing, but my auntie beat the living shit out of me.
oh, okay.
I thought I would have rather took the dog bites. But that was like my intent was to end myself. And I was gonna get the dog to eat me. I was a kid, I think I was like 12. And I'm thinking like, oh, the dog will eat me and I'm gonna die. You know. But the second time I was an adult and I made my mother cry, bro. I put a gun in my mouth and pulled the trigger. And the bitch didn't even click, right? I pulled the trigger and it didn't do nothing. I moved it to look at it and the bitch went off. I never tried again.
Nah, you're meant to be here. No.
But I'm gonna tell you this.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's not like it was, I would tell you this. I didn't realize what I did until it didn't happen. Like if it would have happened though, it was impulsive. It was very I made my mom cry. I felt like shit. I felt like shit, bro. And at that time in my life, I didn't really have nothing, bro. It was like I was dealing with a lot of my own demons, and that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. And I just grabbed it and put it in my mouth and pulled the trigger. And when it didn't go, I just looked. I pulled it out, and I'm looking at the trigger, and it said, "Oh, big ass 4.5, bro." And I was like everything went through my head. Like when I heard the gun, my mom ran in, and I'm looking at her. And I'm like, stop, bro. Like, that would have hurt her if she would have found me like this, bro. That would have hurt her worse than anything I did or said to her.
Yeah, bro. Hell yeah, bro. You would have fucked the multiverse up, bro.
But I wasn't even thinking that. I wasn't thinking that. I'm telling you.
Hey, you heard me, bro. Hey, you heard me the word. You would have fucked the multiverse up, bro. You would have messed it up, bro.
Man, that's it, bro. I've never even thought about that no more. I was like, fuck it, bro. I'm here. I got an opportunity. And then after that happened, I actually fucking died and they brought me back.
Damn, that's crazy.
I fucking died and they brought me back, bro. After that shit happened. I have never been so, and now I be fighting for life, bro. I be fighting to stay alive now. Bro, I got kids and shit now.
Hell yeah, bro. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. To add on to what you just said, I had a near-death experience myself. When I was younger, coming up, you know, I was about 9 years old and shit, and there was this little girl I liked it. Y'all already know, puppy love, little kids playing. Let's just get straight to the point. So, I don't know why the fuck, man, this shit was crazy, bro. I thought something was wrong with me, bro. Check this out, y'all. I'm playing with this girl, right? And she's pushing me off the small little stone stairway, right? And I'm steady showing her, no, I can't fall. You're not gonna make me fall. I'm paying attention. I'm always landing on my feet. La 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 la. Guess what happened, y'all? The damn girl caught me off guard and pushed me, and I fell on the back of my head and I had a seizure, right? Boom, I wake up in the hospital, you know what I'm saying? My mom and them, everybody happy, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I was almost out of there. Boom. I get back to the house, go back home. She's sitting on the stairway, crying her eyes out, telling me she's so sorry. She didn't mean for that to happen. You know what I'm saying? Immediately, I wasn't mad at her because y'all know who already was at fault. Majority, myself, because I was supposed to tell her, chill out, because this is goddamn stone stairway right here. You know what I'm saying? This is concrete, and you know that I'm gonna land right there, man. This is ridiculous, man.
Well, you were a kid though. You didn't know anything.
Yeah, I was a kid. I ain't know no better. Yeah, but still though, like that's just like that was idiotic as hell. Though. I don't know why the fuck. Man, that was crazy, bro. I ain't had nothing else better to do. I think I was enjoying life too much at that time.
But it's like so weird. Oh, go ahead.
No, you got it.
No, like it's weird. Like some people will get into like really bad accidents and survive, and then there's people that are just like bump their head and they're gone.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna tell y'all a story. Now, I was in 5th grade. This shit was fucked up. But you know, little kids play around and shit, and we were at school. It was in the morning. We was waiting to go to school. And back in the day, I don't know if they still do it, but You get to school, you gotta wait in line and shit. You got specific places to stand, so you wait in line. I said Pacific. Somebody will be like, "You talking about the sea?" Specific places to stand. This specific places to stand where where your truck go in at. So it was this kid. It was this little nerdy boy. People used to pick with him all the time. And one day, this dude walked up to him and punched him. And he hit his head on the wall. Well, where he hit his head at, it was a flag holder. I don't know why it was low, but it was there. It was the little metal bracket where you put the flag in that. There was a flag holder there. So when he pushed him, his head hit the back of that. He hit the ground and he was gone, bro. And we sitting there trying to wake him up and shit. We thinking he hit his head, and then we see all this blood. We kids, bro. No teachers and shit is outside. So we screaming, trying to wake him up and shit. All of the kids watched this little boy die off a push. Just the kid pushing. Kids push all the time. So now being an adult, I tell my son, like, don't let nobody put their hands on you. For little shit like that. I mean, we're just working in a hospital, bro. You don't know how many times, I can't even tell you how many times somebody came in, either BOA or we resuscitating them or doing some type of fucked up brain surgery to relieve pressure off their brain because they got punched or they fell. It's something simple that people do almost every day.
Yeah.
You hit the head and shit, and then you get a fucking aneurysm off a bumpy. What's that comedian dude? He got the father from Full House. He flipped hit his head with the sleep and woke up and didn't wake up.
Facts.
What is his name?
Same thing. I think you talking about who that? Oh shit.
The dad of the girls.
Yeah, I forgot. Bob Saget. Bob Saget. There we go.
Bob Saget. Yeah, Bob Saget. Yeah, he flipped getting out of his head. He was fine. Then that's like them brain bleeds, the motherfucker, bro. That's like shit.
Same thing that happened to that dude, the spokesman for OxyClean. Remember him?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And you gotta be careful with that shit.
Yeah, you gotta watch your head, man. You gotta guard your dome, man.
Bro, my wife and Gary both were cussing me out today. My wife was trying to send me to the hospital. I'm like, I got a stun in my head. And I was throwing up this morning. And I'm like, this ain't stomach acid. I think it's like the brain flu. But I had hit my head the night before. I didn't like hit it. I leaned over and bumped my head on the wall. And then that shit, so I was kind of fucked up. And she like, you need to go to the hospital. And I was talking to Gary, and Gary talking about, it's not a sacrifice, it's an investment. Go to the hospital. I'm like, man. Bro, that's the thing, bro. That's the thing, bro. The worst patients be motherfuckers who know shit. So, like, I got everything I need at home. I've been checking my blood pressure and all that shit, bro. As long as my vitals straight, man, and I know.
So you didn't go to the hospital?
No, I ain't go to the hospital.
You're crazy, word.
I'm talking to y'all. I know my shit. I know what happened.
I mean, you feel your own body. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, you know, that's exactly. Let's keep it real. Let's be all the way 100, y'all. Life itself has provided us with all type of remedies that can help us with everything that goes on with our body. That's what it's all about, generally. And really, truth be told, you are supposed to be paying attention to your body like that. And first, right, the doctor is supposed to be the person to help you keep your body in line, not take care of all of the. You know what I mean? So that's your whole due diligence that you must do in life. You gotta be. You know what I'm saying? So why not learn holistic medicine? Why not learn herbal medicine? Why not learn you know what I'm saying? Other alternatives to keep you happening. You know what I'm saying? Because bro, even if you go up there just to get a goddamn a checkup or a goddamn blood pressure checkup, that shit costs like $600.
And see,
come on now.
And there's the thing too. Like, I'm not saying I know everything, but I just know shit. Like, especially I've been knowing this shit for 15 years, and so like I know, like it's times where I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to go to the hospital. My wife will look at me. I'm like, come on, it's time to go, and then we go. Come to find out, my tube was tangled. I felt like I knew something was wrong because of the way I was having headaches. So it's certain I know I gotta go. I had a abscess in my mouth, and I'm like, bro, Like I gotta go in the hospital. I walked in. I'm like, I need antibiotics. I told them I need Kelso.
Told them straight up. Yeah.
Exactly what I need. They said, "Well," I said, "I got this tooth infection, but I guarantee you it's going into my brain." And they was like, "What?" And I'm like, "Man, they did a CAT scan. They like, oh shit, they threw IVs in me so fast." They was like, "How do you know?" I'm like, "Dude, I've been around this shit.
Let's go.
Like I know like the different nerve patterns and shit. It's certain
What
nerves."
does it feel like? What does it feel like in your brain?
So this is how I knew, right? Because you have the lymph nodes, right? And the lymph nodes have paths and patterns. And once the shit get into your jaw, the next place is to your brain. And you'll feel a numbness, you'll feel a tingling, it'll be burning on one side, like it'll be warm to the touch. Like you can touch, and when I felt my head was hot, I'm like, oh no, it's time to go. I knew it was in my, and they took the x-ray, they were kind of draining shit out my lymph node. I said, no, just give me another hour, give me 2 more bags, I'll be straight. Like that shit strong as hell, that Kelso, that shit strong as hell. That antibiotic they put in the IV, yeah, that shit good.
Man, I'm glad you caught that, bro. No doubt.
Well, I knew that once I felt that shit, I couldn't open my mouth. I'm like, oh no, fuck that. I had to get that tooth pulled and everything. Like, take this bitch out my head, bro. I'm straight. I can do without it. I think there are other teeth I can chew. Shit, you got me fucked up. Once that root of that tooth get infected, bro, it's done deal. You get a root canal and all that shit. You know, open up a pocket in your mouth where that shit, the constant infections come. You gotta get that bone to come back down. That's the only way to heal that shit, bro.
Yeah, facts.
And somebody popped up. I was about to pop off. Who that is? Who that is?
Who that is?
Okay, give me 1 second, bro. I'm gonna have a conversation with you. Just stay back there for 1 second. Let me finish my smoke. I'm gonna that's Wild Heart. I'm gonna holler at him before we get off. But I'm gonna talk to him one-on-one. We'll have a quick conversation. Give me 1 second, man. I know you can hear me in the back.
So there's a guy wanted in Florida. I think it was a surveillance camera that caught it, but it was like a road rage. And the guy in the car behind him got off the car, walked up to the driver's. I think he opened the car. Yes, he opened the car. Did you guys see this on the news? He opened the car, and then the driver got out, but he didn't even put the car in park. So the car started moving, and then the guy who was in the passenger side, he's the one that's wanted for unaliving the guy in the back car because he ended up like putting the car in park, got out of the car and went and punched the dude. The dude hit his head on the curb. He hit his head on the curb and he's unalived. And now the guy is wanted and they're trying to say like, is it self-defense or not? Because I think the dude was already walking away when the passenger got off the car because he was pissed. He's like, bro, you walked up, you opened the car. I think the driver was like a family member, like his cousin or something. And the guy has a family and everything. He's on the run. They're looking for him, all because of road rage. Because the guy in the back was acting a fool.
Dude,
What's
it
up,
was a
Wild Heart?
story.
Hello.
It was a story here in Michigan. My bad. It was a story here in Michigan where this father got pissed off his son or daughter. His kid was at a soccer game, and he got pissed off at the referee and punched the referee in the back of the head, and the referee expired. Did you see that one?
But that was like unprovoked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just wrestling the game, and the father got mad at the call and then punched him in the back of the head. That's what argument punched him. When the ref turned around and walked away, he punched him in the back of the head.
Yeah, you got to be careful because then you're going to end up in prison. Like, it might be, I mean, yeah, you can fight stuff in court and maybe, but I mean, why take that chance? Why take the chance?
Well, I'm going to holler at this brother real quick, and then I'm going to pop off. I don't know if you want to stay up immediate, Commander.
I'll stay if you want me to. Yeah, I'll stay.
But yeah, I'm going to holler at him, and then we're going to pop off. We said too, Mouthpiece. There ain't no, but what up, Wild Heart?
What's up? How's it going? Good to see you.
Good and chilling, bro. What's poppin'?
Did you get a haircut, Wild Heart? You did something.
Yeah.
You did, huh?
Yeah. being shaved. It's coming
That
back.
looks good. Looks good.
I'm in detox as well.
Nice.
That's what's up.
I think.
That's what's up. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Good.
Yeah, you look better.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
How's it going so far?
It's pretty good, actually. It's not as bad as I thought it would be.
How does that work? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, you stay here like 24/7. You live here. It's for 2 weeks, and they give you medication, you know, to stop like the shakes and with withdrawals. But they drop it every day. So tomorrow, I think today's my last day of actual medication for the alcohol. But I'm feeling good. Yeah, it's been okay.
You got a plan when you get out?
Sorry?
You got a plan for when you get out?
Yeah, I'm going to somewhere what they call pre-tox, you know, like detox, but before you get into prehab, before you get into rehab. You go like 8 hours a day and then come home at night. And then I'll get into rehab, but it could be a long time because there's like a long waiting list. Some people have been waiting like up to a year. So
Have you looked into any support groups?
I'm sorry, your microphone's a bit. I'm struggling hearing what you're saying.
You're on Temu.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you looked into any support groups?
Yeah, in here they run 2 groups a day. Like I've been going to them all.
And it's important too, like when you get out. This is just some, you know, because like in real life, that's what my family's nonprofit organization do. We help people who coming off addiction reacclimate back to society. So support groups is definitely a help, especially if you get a sponsor. You know, so when you are feeling, you know, vulnerable, you have someone who can kind of talk you off the ledge. You know, so that's good too, especially if it's gonna take you a minute to get into rehab.
Yeah. Like I said, that prehab, I would imagine they'll run groups in that. So yeah, that should be sorted. I know what you mean though. It does help.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's good to hear from you, bro. Making sure you're straight. I ain't gonna lie to you. If I mean, I'm not, you know, progression over perfection. So, you putting yourself in there, you know, I ain't really got nothing. You know, just the way all that went down is in the past, and hopefully we can leave it there. But I will say this: we have to have an understanding if we continue to interact, right?
Yeah,
we gotta have a understanding, and like I said, I don't mind people challenging me or nothing like that. It's just the intent, right? Like what I do over here is self-development. So just understanding the concept. If you're not adding, then you're taking away. So
and I do want to apologise. Obviously, I was probably drunk at the time, so I don't remember exactly what happened. But obviously, it would have been my fault. So I do want to apologise for whatever I did. But I genuinely don't remember what it was. So, but
and you know, I accept that, and like I said, I'm not into. You know, I got a motto I live by. If I can't help, I'm not gonna hurt. So, situation happened, is done and over with. You are progressing, you know, so I ain't got nothing else to say, you know. I will all I will say is if you can respect the decorum that I created over here, where we have conversations and hope to share information and help one another develop, I have no problem. But I can't, you know, this is not like a regular YouTube channel. You know, we come around, we talk, but this is my brand, you know, and I'm known for particular things, and I enjoy that, you know, and I'm trying to build something that people can benefit from. So I'm not bigger than the program myself, and I'm not going to allow anyone to be bigger than the program, you know.
Yeah.
So long as we, you know, have understanding, then yeah, you're more than welcome.
And if I ever do get out of line, like put me backstage, keep me, do whatever, it's your channel. I won't mind. I don't know grudges or anything. So I'll try and, well, I won't, but, you know, if it ever happens, yeah, I don't mind if you keep me or anything. I don't know grudges, so it's fine.
Wild
You
Heart,
know.
there's several people rooting for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I'm rooting for you.
Oh,
But
thank you.
I just think, like, if you get triggered on these panels and stuff, I would just stay away from things that trigger you, you know, just so you can.
Yeah, that's good advice. Hello, Commander. That's it.
It's Commander. And then you got Mouthpiece right next to you.
Indeed. Peace and blessings. Yes, sir. Peace and blessings, sir. Moderation does rule the nation.
Oh, moderation. I was like, I had to think for a second. Everything with moderation.
Yeah,
Everything
indeed.
with moderation. But then there's some things that, you know, no moderation, nothing at all, because it's just too.
Exactly. Now, right there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, some
There's
things you
some
just
things
got to
just
cut
best
off
left
completely.
alone.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what it is. But yeah, I don't want to stay on here too much longer. My wife go wake me up early. She go get me up. But I am planning on doing a series every Sunday, y'all. Then after that, you know, it's probably gonna be like 20, 30 minutes. And then I'm gonna do an after show. So I'm gonna do a presentation, and in the after show, people will have the ability to ask any questions if you want me to go further into the information. But I am going to be teaching people how to manipulate. And, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. So it's not about the manipulation itself, but it's about the intent of the manipulation, because it's going to occur regardless. Different forms and degrees of manipulation, and that includes influence. It includes motivation and inspiration too. So I'm gonna be focusing on the positive aspect, but I'm gonna have to teach you about the negative so you can identify if you're doing it or if people doing it to you. So buckle up.
That sounds cool. But yeah, I'm gonna pop off as well. I just wanted to nip in and say hello. It's nearly breakfast time, so I've got to go. But good to see
Much
everyone.
love.
And everyone is
Much love, everyone.
Thanks a lot.
Salute. Big
Cheers.
blessings.
Stay strong in there, bro. Stay strong in there.
Cheers. Thanks a lot, man. Right.
For sure. See, Commander, I'm not a bad person.
You're not.
I have a heart.
You have a heart. Wild heart.
Yeah, I have a heart, man.
No, that's
Like I
good. He
said-
does look better.
Yeah, he do. He look better. I mean, even, you know, talking better. You know, things, maybe sometimes you need tough love, bro. So I don't know. Maybe if that didn't happen, I mean, I don't know.
I felt bad because he did tell us he was gonna go into detox that day, and we kind of just skimmed over it. You know.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've heard that from him for like a month though.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm the type of person you're gonna have to show me. I understand words create anticipation. So until I see it, I don't believe it, man. Not when it
Yeah,
come
and
out
they
of
say
people's mouth.
it takes
Yeah,
people
right. You
several
gotta show and
times.
prove, baby. Show and prove.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
Not change, but improve. Like, shout out to Mr. 33 Gary.
Shout out to Mr. 33, Mr. I had to take my
Wow.
old man nap.
All right, I'm dropping down. Good night, 9. Good night, Mouthpiece.
Good night, man.
Chat,
All right, good night.
chat.
Mouthpiece.
Yes, sir.
Mouthpiece, you got IG?
Yep.
I'm gonna find you on IG, bro. I wanna probably, you know, set up a show with you. I mean, even if you come over here, we can dual stream if you want.
Oh, that'd be dope. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind, bro. That's dope. Okay, bet.
Yeah, I want to because I was talking like to Rachel. You know, Rachel do it a lot, and I was telling her like, you know, we was talking about using one another, and I was telling her like everything's supposed to be used. I don't even have value unless people use me, right? But don't abuse me is the difference, right? So
There we
I
go.
was
Let's
just
go.
telling her, I was telling her the benefit. Like if I have a topic and people got information, not only can I use them, but they can use me by coming to my platform. Now they can get new eyes and new ears on them, and by them coming to my platform, you know, giving their information, they helping me with the content too. So we can use one another, and we both can benefit. It don't have to be a one-way street. You know, we just got to do it intentionally. You know, so I'm all about networking, bro. That's why I came on here.
Me too, bro.
And
So
brother,
that definitely works, bro. So shit, we locked in then.
yeah, we definitely. I might be friends with you on Instagram, but I'm Coach D on
Probably chose it,
Instagram.
bro. I think I am following you already too, low key. But let's just double check. Be on the safe side. My IG
Yeah.
is mouthpiece_family with 3 A's, and also everybody in the chat as well. Y'all more than welcome to follow me too. My IG is mouthpiece_family with 3 A's.
Let me see this. Bro, I don't even know how to work IG. How to it's different,
Don't show
bro.
your age. Don't show your age, 9.
Yeah. Hey, bro. I just seen. Hold on. I seen the family right here.
Yep.
Okay.
sir.
Now I got you for sure.
All right, bet.
Yeah, man. I'll be 41 in a couple weeks, man. I'm excited,
Man.
bro. I'm trying to hit that half century.
I'm about to be 43 though. You know what I'm talking about? Let's go. Let's go.
Man, if I reach 50, bro, I'm pushing for 75. Give me 25 more.
That's what I'm talking about. I ain't gonna cap. I think the Most High definitely gonna see us through that. No doubt.
Yeah, that'd be a blessing, man.
We keep going at this rate, the way we doing what we doing. I think we gonna make it, bro. No doubt.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's been a journey, man. And I try to share my experiences in hopes that people can be inspired or learn from my mistakes and not make the same ones, you know.
That's right.
My pain is my muscle. My struggle is my hustle, bro.
No doubt. Facts. And not only that, my experience in life can also help you see things through clearly. You get what I'm saying? Because that's what the thing is, bro. That's why a lot of people pissed off at the media so much, because they have completely mastered the art of confusion. Like they so good at twisting you and spinning you and telling you one part of the story and trying to hurry up and cover up other. Ah, man, come on, people. We gotta stop taking all that bullshit at face value and get back to the comprehensive thinking. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to comprehensive thinking. Let's listen to the story. Let's listen to the key points of the story. Number 1, Carmelo was chilling. You know what I'm saying? He under the tent. It was raining outside. Number 2, he was approached. Number 3, you know what I'm saying? Just so happened that when the way he stabbed this person, he ended up passing away. You know what I'm saying? You know, hey, key components. Don't get me wrong. I understand. I don't want to keep talking about that too much, but I just want to elaborate on that with what I'm saying too, to make my point. That's the whole key of it all. It's for you to understand life and live it out and manifest what you're seeing and what you're doing to help you see things through. Now, don't get me wrong. All violence is bad. All lives being taken, whether it's suicide, all of that stuff is wrong, fam. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying you should never be willing to end nobody's life. But at the same time, when it comes down to defending yourself, I'm definitely all for defending yourself, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And
don't let nobody. I've been bullied before too. Like, and I know how bullies operate. You know what I'm saying? Come on, shit. Sometimes you gotta get big.
Mike O'Hara, what up, though? And this is what I tell people, man. I live by this, bro. And so I understand when I see stuff like this. I have a different perception of it. But you can't tell me how to fight back, bro. Can't tell me. You know, so when I see somebody fighting back, bro, if it's on here or if it's in real life, bro, I can't say nothing. Maybe I won't do what they do, but I understand the concept. Like, you know, people will defend themselves. I mean, we have a basic instinct of survival, bro. That's like our primordial instinct is to survive. So when you put someone into that survival state, you have to deal with what comes out of it. That's just reality, and I've learned that. So they tell you never to never pin a wounded animal. You know, they tell you that. If you ever been hunting, they tell you don't corner a wounded animal. You know, just let them walk away and expire. Don't pin them because they tend to lash out and it's unpredictable. So when you pin someone who's afraid, that's a wounded animal, bro.
That's right.
They become unpredictable. So I mean, just because you bigger, you badder, bro, and I understand that, bro. I done studied martial arts my whole life, and I understand one thing: when somebody don't want to fight, let them go.
Exactly. There we go, bro.
You know
That's
what I'm saying?
Bam. I'm glad you said that, bro, because that is the key component. Also, I have also done karate too when I was younger. Mom signed me up for taekwondo, and I learned this thing called the defense triangle. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But not only that, when we first started, my sensei, that's the first thing he told us, fam. He told us all, he said, listen, don't get cocky. Don't be trying to be a hero. Don't immediately be the one to initiate. Make sure you are never the initiator. That's the number one rule when it came to that. That's what he told us. He said always utilize tactical tactical skills to, solve problems. You know what I mean? So so after then, you know what I'm saying, I took it on face value and I accepted that because that's true. You can't just be going around trying to, just because you got size on somebody, just because you were bigger, you know what I'm saying, you 225, 30, whatever pounds you is, man. You trying to debo some shit and the laws of nature is going to fight back against you. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
People don't understand what universal law is. They be getting it, they get all cocky and shit. Once they get a certain size or certain money or certain whatever, now they just big dog. Now everybody got to bow down. No, it don't work like that, bro. It don't work like that. And that was just life way of showing, that's what life do. Life will humble you, fam. Shit. I got bit by a dog too. I meant to tell you, bro, earlier. We used to talk about them dogs and shit. Bro, I got bit by a dog, bro. The dog bit me, bro. I was fucking with the dog, bro. Every time I walk through this little alleyway, I see that dog, he'll start barking. I be throwing shit at him. You know what I'm saying? One day, his ass, I don't know how the fuck he did it, but he pushed the goddamn gate and that nigga came out and bit the fuck out of me, bro. Fucked up my jeans and everything.
Bro, animals got that memory when you fuck with them, bro.
Man.
They remember your ass, bro. I'm telling you. But going back to the Sin Fu is so crazy because they was teaching us when I was learning. I took Taekwondo for a couple years. I only got to a brown belt. I was one off to a black belt, but what you said is
you man, yeah, you the guy.
But when you going through those belts, progressing through them belts, they tell you the best defense is no defense, meaning walk away.
There we go.
It's to walk. If you can walk away from the situation, it's better to do that to engage in any confrontation because nothing is guaranteed. You can know all the skills, you can be the baddest motherfucker ever. That don't mean nothing, bro.
And then what was the other? What was rule number 2? What was rule number 2? Word. Never underestimate your opponent.
Never underestimate.
Never underestimate your opponent. You don't know what
That's why.
Shit.
That I tried Rex Kwan. Dude, it was a scam. It's a whole a lot of those martial arts, man. I practice if I ever get into a fight, you ain't gonna be seeing me do no damn martial art. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of those martial arts, Muay Thai, you might see me getting a Thai stance, but a lot of those martial arts, man, that shit don't translate into shit in the street, bro. I know motherfuckers who have black belts.
Bro. Hey, it actually do, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I got some homies that do that shit, bro. That shit actually works, bro. If you get so in tune and entrenched into it, it becomes second nature, bro. You just automatically feel that shit, and you just it does to a degree. But if you're trying to go out here and just be trying to do karate moves with motherfuckers, then you're gonna get shot for sure.
I'm even saying this. A lot of the martial arts, I know a guy who he 3rd degree black belt in Taekwondo. I took him down in less than 5 seconds. Like even like Wing Chun. Like I practice Wing Chun. I'm in the final form of Wing Chun. And so trying to perform Wing Chun on somebody who's aggressive coming at me, I get my ass whooped, bro. So I use principles. Like a lot of times with people who know martial art, they're not actually doing a martial art in the street, but they understand the principles. Like center line, if I get your center mass, I'm gonna fuck you up. You have no chance. But I'm not gonna be trying to get into a stance, and I'm not trying to do this block. Nah, but I know the principle. I know how to kick. Most people don't know how to kick. Bro, look, this dude ran up on me and I swept him, right? I did a sweep. When I did a sweep, he fell. He wasn't ready for that. Ain't nobody in the street used to getting swept. You know, ain't nobody in the street used to getting their thighs touched with a side kick. Ain't nobody in the street used to catching a spinning back hook kick into the chest on the abdomen. So it's the moves. I'm talking about like the art itself. Martial arts work in a dojo because it's rules and regulations to it. In the street, ain't no regulation. You know, ain't nobody go back up or no, they come in full force. And if they stronger and grab you, all that shit don't matter. But like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Aikido, well, no, I ain't gonna really say Aikido, but Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Judo are great martial arts for like street fighting because most people grab, or you get that close to the point where you can grab somebody. And if you don't know how to handle yourself in grappling and you fucking with somebody to do, you gonna get fucked up real quick. I'm not a great grappler. You know, I had to learn by getting fucked up, sparring with grapplers. I had to get choked out a couple times to learn how to defend the shit. And I'm not a little guy. I'm 6 foot, 6 foot and a quarter. At the time, I was probably about 245. I can bench it. Well, I was benching like 300. I was squatting over like 545, deadlifting close to the same thing. So it was like I'm thick, muscular. I'm strong, like big, like bull. You know what I'm saying? And I had a girl fucking jump on my, like, bro, she grabbed my arm and jumped on me, locked my arm, almost popped it out of place, and got her between her thigh and her calf around my neck. And I'm standing up holding her, trying to shake her off. She was choking me out with her fucking leg, pulling my arm out of socket. I had to tap out. It was either that or slam her ass to the ground.
Damn.
That's the only way I was getting out of that. Like, bro, she literally shook my hand and jumped up, bro, and put me in this submission hold. Like normal, like if I wasn't as strong as I was, she would have took me to the ground and probably choked me out before I can tap. The only reason I was able to stand up is because I was strong, but she almost pulled my fucking shoulder out of socket, bro. That's 140 pounds pulling down on my arm, bro. Like shit. So like people who got skills in grappling, bro, if you ain't got skills and you start grappling one of them motherfuckers, bro, it's a wrap. Especially if they know how to transition and slide around, bro. That shit is. I'm teaching. Well, I'm putting my son in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu next year. I'm gonna teach them strikes at home. I'm gonna train my own kids, but I can't teach them that. I can, but not effectively and efficiently. So I'm gonna let them learn from professionals. They can go learn that from other people. I teach them how to strike.
No, that's dope, bro.
I just spoke with joint manipulation, but them transitions, bro.
Fucking killer, bro. You fuck with joint manipulation, bro. You trying to paralyze somebody? Oh, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, bro. I fuck with pressure points and all that shit. My mom studied.
I ain't gonna lie. I fuck with the pressure point shit too. I know a lot of pressure points, but that shit hard, bro.
Yeah, my mom studied Jiu-Jitsu, bro. My mom bad motherfucker too.
Oh, she get cold.
I remember she roundhoused me one day, knocked all the goddamn wind out of me. I ain't get regular whoopings, bro. I got ass kicked, bro.
Got your ass kicked, literally, huh?
Hell yeah. Mama wasn't playing.
I'm trying to tell you.
Shit, lock your ass up quick too. What you say? Come here. I'm like, oh fuck. And then as mama, you ain't even trying to get out.
No, you ain't gonna try to get out too much. Yeah. But yeah, bro, it's always an honor, bro, pulling up, bro. You know I fucks with you the strong way, not the wrong way, my dude. I'm gonna go ahead and
for sure, bro.
up. But man, I'm gonna be in the chat for a little second, chop it up some more. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really finna go too far.
I'm about to take my butt to sleep, bro. I'm gonna be getting up.
Oh, okay, you calling the rap. Okay, my bad. Yeah, that's right. Cover the rap. That's right. Okay. Hey, big salute though. It's all good, family. Big blessings on
Oh,
blessings.
for sure, bro.
You already know.
For sure. Y'all go check out Mouthpiece, man. Make sure y'all turn the notification bell on too, because when he get live, he be live. So definitely go check out my bro.
Man, for sure. Salute.
Salute, my brother. Hey, shout out to all the guests that hit the panel. Rachel, appreciate you, sis. Commander, appreciate you. Big Mouthpiece hit the panel. Shout out to my bro. Shout out to Wildheart, man. You know, that's a great update. You know, he doing a detox. He looking good, sounding good. You know, shout out to him for taking that step. You know, it's about progression, not perfection. So as long as you moving forward, you know, that's what's up, man. Shout out to you. But I am about to get off here, man. I appreciate y'all. If y'all didn't catch it's only 11 minutes, so it shouldn't be a long watch. Go check that out. That's the introduction to the book of the words book of manipulation. So yeah, go check that out. And we'll be doing part 2 next Sunday. After that, you have to have the membership, $4.99. The after show will be free, but the actual context of the content will be under the members. So totally worth it. You support me, I'm gonna support you. That's how we make this content. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know what I always say, care about how you feel. These are conversations that create nations. And if I say anything that resonated with you, do me a favor, hit that share button, tell somebody, help me spread the word. But until next time, we out.